gamers, Spartantano here from INGAGE GG, giving you the rundown on our most recent sponsor, grabtap. The incredible team over at grabtap have got me to get on this video and show you how their website works, and it's incredibly easy. To kick things off, we just go straight to this website here. So what is grabtap and how does it work? Grabtap is simple. It's a website where you can log in, choose whatever game you want to play or whatever your community would like to play, complete the missions, and then you get gift cards. You can redeem the points for gift cards. It's literally as simple as that, and it is just a brilliant way for creators to not only earn on the games that they could already be playing, but also to earn from your community as they play the games for you or with you. So as you can see, this is as simple as it gets. You'll log in, you'll choose a game, you'll see the missions for that game, and then you will be able to do those and earn the point that you can redeem to gift cards. And of course, if you are a viewer rather than a creator, you can redeem to support a creator following this. So let's get stuck into it. So as you can see, it's literally just grabtap.com, grabtap.com, and you'll click this lovely button here that says start now. That will open up multiple different login or sign up options that you want to take. I signed up with Twitch because why wouldn't I? So I'm going to take that one right here. So here we are, this is my screen. I'm currently signed in and it tells me the games that I can pick up and play here. From what you can see, I can also join another community using this button if there's somebody else's community that I want to be a part of. But this is me right now. These are the games that I currently have on offer that I'm able to earn from. Now let's say that we want to play Star Trek Fleet Command. We would click on this, and then we would install the game onto either the device that we're currently using or into our mobile, for example. It says here what the options are. You can play it on PC, you can play it on Apple, you can play it on Android. And these are the total points that you can earn for this game. And that is a massive amount, by the way, guys. As you scroll down, you'll see the missions and what you need to do to be able to get those points. It's incredibly easy. It tells you exactly what you need to do, but also you get bonus points for any kind of money that you spend in the game. So not only are you getting what you need from the game, but you're also getting points. Incredibly good. And it'll also tell you the requirements on this right hand side. Biggest one is usually that you must not have a VPN on because it needs to be able to track on the devices, and you should not switch devices whilst you are playing. And then once you've played these missions and you have got your points, you can go to the rewards menu and claim your rewards. Now if we had a look at Star Trek Fleet Command, that was over 200,000 points that you could get from playing that. And look at that, $50 gift card for 50,000 points. You can get plenty of those, and it is pretty amazing. You can see all the different options that you've got, from Twitch, Just Eat, to Amazon, to debit cards and everything like that. A brilliant way for you to earn whilst you game, as well as being able to get yourself some gift cards and your community being able to support you. Now you can head to your dashboard up in this top right hand corner, and this will tell you what you've earned from your community. Of course, I've signed in just now. I haven't used it just yet. Looking forward to doing so. But you can see some of the different games that they've had in the past down this list. It's really, really useful. And as I say, it's not just about a creator like me. You can swap back to player mode, and it's all about what you play and what you earn from the games that you have the options to have a go at. For example, I was already thinking of playing Marvel Strike Force, so I could have a look at that and earn myself 154,000 points. Pretty huge for me to then be able to go and redeem a gift card from. This website is incredibly easy to use. As I've shown you, you literally just sign in from one of the multiple options that you've got, and then you just head to the game screen as normal, pick whatever game you want to play, and once you pick that game up, you can see it in your missions menu for the game that you will be playing. So that's it, guys. It's as quick and as simple of a rundown as I can give you, because it's a very simple website to use and a very simple way for you to earn money, not only for yourself, but for your community as well. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you back on the games. Welcome in Europe and welcome to more Unite Fight Club. I'm Spartan Tano and today I'm joined by the incredible Night Arrow. We're just sticking with Ryan for their name today. How are you doing today, buddy?
Hi, yeah, thanks for letting me know that my name is now Ryan for today. I didn't realize that till now. Didn't need to know it, but we're doing great today. The first rule of Unite Fight Club is we don't talk about Unite Fight Club. That's our job to do. So let's get into it here today, Tano. I'm doing great. We've got some really interesting lineups for you. I think today's a rough one. 2 BO5s for us, right?
It's going to be an absolute blast, buddy. And of course, I already see people talking about it in the chat. We've got not only new Pokemon that can be played today, and you're going to be very excited with your background matching the very Pokemon I hoped to see, but also we've got that big route coming on in, buddy, and we've been trying to work out behind the scenes what it actually does, but it's going to be interesting to see it in a game to see what it does.
Might be the root problem of all of this until we can figure it out, but otherwise I don't think it'll be seen that often today. There are a few use cases that we have like kind of talked about and we conspired. I don't see a Pokemon that we really wanted yet.
Yeah, that's the biggest debate we've been having, chat. If you have found a Pokemon you think it works quite well on, let us know in the chat because we've been intrigued about it. So I'm very excited to see if it does come out today. But to be honest, I cannot wait to see some of this Mega Lucario action, buddy. Something Polion action coming out as well. That is what we want. And let's have a look at what teams are going to be going up against each other. We have to show you the schedule that we've got going on today. Get production to bring that up for us. And it is Los Duros taking on Hyper Gaming. Cannot wait for that. And then even better, Los Catacodas taking on No Follow Night Terror. 2 massive best of 5s here.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Los Duros, very fun team to talk about. We've seen them on and off in different tournaments here. And today, they're going to give us a show against Hyper Gaming. Now, the problem here is that with Los Ducados and No Follow, that apparently No Follow followed me on Twitter just now. And so now I'm kind of a little biased, okay? So, this is how you earn my attention, right? Give me attention.
I like that, mate. I think I relate to that, actually. Yeah, No Follow, massive team. They're a new team, fresh. I mean, none of them are new to Pokemon Unite competitive, though. They're a very well-known team, or at least players coming together for the first time to compete. Very excited to see them going up against probably the top 4 team here in the EU region, Los Catacodas. So we've got an absolute belter for you today, chat. But let's have a look at the head-to-head graphic. We've got some interesting stuff to show you, as well as what goes on in the Fearless Draft. So let's get that one up, production, and have a nosy at how these head-to-head games are going to go.
Right, Los Catacodas. I gotta remember this. All right, I've got it in my memory. You're not gonna mess it up later, hopefully. But as we go into that, you're right. Right, this is we need to see the hit-to-hit moving into this. First match, of course, Los Duros versus Hyper Gaming. I've seen the Los Duros lineup before. I think you guys need a little bit of a refresher. So as we get into that here, that's going to be interesting. Hyper Gaming as well. Tano, I have no real idea on what Hyper Gaming has in store for us. So maybe you can run me that down.
Yeah, I mean, well, what I'm interested to see is whether we end up accidentally getting there, because they both start with Lost, don't they? So I'm like, if we accidentally end up naming them each other, but either way, very excited for it. Here is the head-to-head as we move on through, looking at the team that is coming up, buddy. This battle here, you've got Aymar, you've got Danny, Los Duros, Hyper Gaming. This is the battle of the ranged attackers. Right now, looking at their average damage, looking at their assists and their average KO is very close between them, mate. Danny just managing to score a couple more points, but realistically, as a ranged attacker, you're looking for the damage, you're looking for the assists, the KOs, that kind of stuff. We've got Miraidon versus Glaceon into like the most favorite played Pokemon in this UFC so far between these two. Are you going to give us a winner here, Night Terror? What do you reckon?
Here's the problem. When I look at their trainer cards, they both have the Mew sticker on, but their Pokemons are like completely different. Like, can I give a winner here? No. It's gonna come down to very simply, these two players need to run Mews against each other. Right? That's the easiest way to do it, right? Right? Mew Ditto, go to top. Let's see how it runs it down. But of course, if you look at the lineup, one is a little bit more good when it comes to, making plays. The other one's a bit better when it comes to assisting plays. Well, the damages don't really kind of match up here. You gotta give it to Danny when it comes to really working as a team here. Now, of course, I'm on the other hand, easily doable when it comes to taking on, one-on-ones on his own. He's easily going to be a strong player. But is that really the end game when it comes to Pokemon Unite, right? Because 2 minutes, I don't think Aimar's going to be running around on its own.
No, that is true. And this is why the range attacker battle is an interesting one, because realistically, you can only be as strong as the team built up around you. It's very difficult to do well as a ranged attacker without having a solid team built around you, or at least some front line. It's definitely one of those that, you've got to be wary of. And the Glaceon Miraidon matchup is very interesting because very similar roles. They are quite far back in regards to the range, because it's usually that ice shard that we see, isn't it? But the icicle spear rather than the icy wind for the Glaceon. Although, give me some more of that shotgun, I think. I'd love to see MR pulling out some of that shotgun Glaceon.
And there's just something about, unloading everything into someone and like just watching them pop. I don't know. It might just be a me thing. I could be sadistic, but that's how I like to play my Glaceon. One and done. I don't want to see you on my screen once I'm like through with you. That's it. So as we go about this, though, I do hope to see how this goes on. I do believe the format is going to be an interesting one, as we've always called it out to. And so we only get one chance to see how this goes.
Yeah, let's have a look at the Fearless Draft graphic so that anybody that's new in this chat will be able to see how it works. Here it goes. This is the Fearless Draft rule, but as you can see, any Pokemon that is played in match 1 will not be allowed to be played for the rest of that set, and it continues all the way through for each team. So if we get all the way down to match 5, there will be 20 Pokemon, in total that can't be played per team that they've already used in that set. So that will be a grand total of 40 Pokemon that we can see banned across the board. It's going to be very exciting. We do this every single week, and it is the most exciting draft rule in Pokemon Unite.
I mean, that's very true here, because we get to see an exclusive lineup of 25 Pokemon. Might be repeating on both sides here, but if in a perfect world it's not repeated, technically you could see 50 different Pokemon, which obviously it's a little bit daydreamy. But Tano, I gotta ask, does this apply to us casters? Like, we cast the first match, are we allowed to cast the next few? Do we need to bring like Lobo back in? It's a little bit far now. Don't know if we can get him.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lobo's living his life up over in PAX, buddy. So this is the leaderboard so far, and this is what we talk about. We're here in the Unite Fight Club Season 1. We will have a mid-season open qualifiers, and the winners from that mid-season open qualifiers will go into promotion matches versus the bottom 2 in the leaderboard to see whether they can get promoted into the league. Very exciting, but it means these early games that we're seeing already, you realistically have to get yourself some wins, buddy. Right now, no Micro giving themselves 2 series wins, beginning to take a slight lead as we're early on in this Season 1.
Hey, to be fair here, it's only day 4 of UFC Season 1. And so as you look at the lineup here, there are definitely 4 clear winners, 4 clear losers. It's going to be a little bit tough to really make any calls early on. We've seen it in a few different other leagues as well. Tano, I'm pretty sure you and me, we've seen our fair share of, like, at the very end, big upsets. So I wouldn't hold them across them just yet here. But as we look at the leaderboards here, we have a very clear two teams who are up and coming. No Micro, all Macro. We have Guerrilla Tactics, of course, monkeying around. They've got a clear lead, at least 2-3 points over everyone else here, but at least the rest of them from 3 to 8, they're kind of packed close. It's not too far.
That it is, and the thing is, you will have, like, this is going to be not much, like, sort of information to begin with, but as we get deeper into this league, this will make all the difference, buddy, because you will have tied points, and it will all come down to goal difference. So, scoring goals, defending goals, very important in Pokemon Unite, and it will be for this league, because that could really determine what position you end up in.
Yep, and I mean, I wouldn't want to be last behind, so we're going to have to see how this pans out for everyone here. So let's bounce back into that as we get ready for the teams going into this. Tano, pop quiz, do you know which team is coming out first?
We have Lost Eros versus Hyper Gaming, buddy.
Darn it.
I was listening. All
right. I got you. You got me back. Right. So as we look into that here, Lost Eros versus Hyper Gaming here. We saw the head-to-head. Both teams technically, just assuming we're looking at one player, technically speaking, there isn't an exact fair way to describe who could be better. we're gonna have to come down to see how the plays are being made here and what really goes down in the pit.
Rightly so, buddy. I can't wait for this one. I'm very excited. Los Duros have been improving and improving every week that we see them. Hyper Gaming, they had a difficult one last time, buddy. They were very well played, but it was a difficult matchup for them. So they're looking to bounce back big time here. So this is going to be an exciting best of 5, and we have even more coming up after that. So here is game 1. Let's have a look at what the bans are going to be out of the gate. Los Duros saying absolutely no way to Hooper being in game 1.
Hey, fair assumption. I wouldn't want to see, you know, Hoopa in game 1. It's going to be a rough one, especially if you're going to be able to run around the map fast. And remember, there is a team player on the side of Hyper Gaming who would love Hoopa. But if we're looking into the side of Los Duros, we have someone who's really good at just playing fast. And, you know, either way, blocking Hoopa means less travel time, increase in travel time. And so both these teams can't really wrap up together or, you know, run away from the wrath of a certain ice cat.
And I like that you bring that up, buddy, because Empoleon is 100% playable today, and literally we called it, Night Terry. We said Mega Lucario will be played. It will come out very often. Here Oscar taking it straight out of the gate.
I don't know, man. It's just me. I feel it in my soul.
Got to put that big root on it, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, we're talking about it. Do we want to see Big Root on it? That's an interesting thing. But if we're looking at Mega Lucario, this kind of gives you a nice mid-range, close-range fighter already. Oscar is going to be sitting pretty there. We're going to see Venusaur in the pickup as well, with Dani on the Mew finally, so we might see Aimar return the favor later. But this means that we have 2 Bs potentially coming out with Venusaur. Of course, just switch it up where I'm saying that.
Yeah, I mean, they always do that to us, buddy. Dani, though, with the Mew, managing to get that battle to begin with. It's interesting, though, because, of course, this is game 1. Maybe the approach from Los Duros is let's pick up the Mega Lucario, ban it from here on out, and then try and do the same with Empoleon. That would be an interesting strategy, right? Right.
This is an early lead in some sense here. The thing is, I'm not seeing how this could go down, right? Also, now we have Los Duros who's locking out Mega Lucario. Maybe the next game they pick on Empoleon or Suicune, and they have a very solid team lineup already just like that. And that's scary because you're picking the inferior version on the other side when it comes to Hyper Gaming here with normal Lucario. Though, surprise me if you guys can beat, you know, what's Mega.
I mean, it would be the battle of the ages, whether if normal Lucario comes out on top. I mean, un-Mega Lucario is, I guess, what we should call them. Is there a way for a word for not being Mega, un-Mega? Either way, we have is that right? Is that right that we're seeing here on the side of Patu?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like at some point you kind of will pick it up. You know, that's the problem, right, with Fearless Jump. At some point, you're gonna have to pick up Pokemon that aren't that strong. But I wouldn't say Dragapult is in a range of good or bad. It's kind of in the middle. It takes a little while to get up, but it's all slow and steady that wins the race here. Now, of course, with this drop here, Tano, I always like to call out which team I prefer, but why don't you call it? Because they both have Lucario. It's not a very hard choice for me.
Mate, I gotta be with you. I much prefer the draft of Los Duros here. Of course, you do have the Venusaur versus the Alolan Raichu. I just think the Dragapult is it's an acquired taste here, buddy, and I'm not sure about why that was the pickup. But either way, it should be an absolute blast. For me, it's like you could just play Cinderace if that was your plan, right?
No. We leave Cinderace for a very specific team, a very specific player. We're not gonna talk anymore about that because he's not here. Right, he's not here. We'll leave it as that. All right. You know, Lobo can get his clips done later on when he wants to scream a little Hog Rider or whatever. I'm just saying, he's not here now. Okay. Moving on to that though, let's see how they actually pan this one out here. It's gonna be a Dreepy who's gonna be working his way into the center here, and I do believe there is the Bulbasaur who's gonna be rocking it in as well. And so we're gonna see how this is gonna pan out here. I believe Venusaur is going to be the Beamersaur, so that might be a concern.
Has there been some sort of changes to Dragapult in the patch? I didn't see any, but it's such a left field pick. Let me know, bro, because that is so left field. But again, if you do get those stacks, it could be quite impactful. I'm not sure. I think there's other Pokemon that plays that role well enough. But hey ho, we have Patu on it here. They're a very capable player. Let's see what that can do. No way manages to get away on 1 HP and a dream in that bottom lane.
Now I'm a little bit confused. Which Lucario do I want to root for? There is a level 4 on the side here of Hyper Gaming as they go about it. Looks like we're going to have Oscar return the favor at 4 as well. And now it's just kind of a battle of the pinks and blues on the top side. On the other side though, it's going to be a small little crab versus a giant wall himself here. And there it is, the Electro Ball to clean up with the execute and turning it around here. It looks like we have a nice pickup going into the side of Losturos, who's now going to be on top side here, having a chance to pick up as much as they can. They've got the EXP, they're running it through. They also have Lucario at level 5, which means they can actually chase this. The Power Punch connects into Lucario here, and that's a first going into Hyper Gaming, looking stronger without the Mega.
Yeah, un-Mega Lucario proving to be the better one at the moment, buddy. But as soon as we have that Unite move, maybe a different status right now, though. Hyper Gaming trying to get themselves a couple of stacks and find some good KOs. Danny is not easy to find that on, though. But Amahi's here. They've got that Alolan Raichu ready to drop some damage. And finally, we see a little bit of revenge coming out of Los Duros.
Ooh, you gotta give it to them. It's a hard one to say the least here. Moving forward, though, I do believe it is a little bit more stable. We're gonna see a little bit of slowdown that's going to Regidrago now. And everyone's to get their levels and prepare with their teams here. It looks like this little Lucarios, though, kind of just want to pick themselves up as fast as possible. Especially Oscar. Needs that level 9 ASAP.
Here's the rip on the Regidrago. That's exactly why you have Pokemon like Dragapult in the game. It's very quick, so is Amar looking for the secure. Oh, a big beam came through. Danny didn't find it, but that was a brilliant effort. But they are able to get that on the side of Hyper Gaming. Looking for the rotate round is Patude makes the wise decision to stay away from Danny, knowing that they could get that boosted off as well as the Electro Ball. And such a weak Pokemon right now, that's pretty much an instant KO.
No, I totally agree with you right there. It's going to be a tough one to go up and against them. Close combat already engaged. Oscar reaching its level 7 here. Also has close combat. It's going to need a pretty good close combat here. There's the trade for the second one. The third one coming in from, of course, Los Duros. Trying to make some headways here. But it looks like at the end of the day, Sync Clefable will make some headways from there. Close combat, clenching it through. Not enough to clean up into the side of Hyper Gaming here, who they're going to try and see if they can make some headways. The nice eject button, but not enough to clean it up. And this is just a mess when it comes to the Lucario matchup here. Nice clean up in there with Power Punch. No pickups here on the side, but it looks like another pink buffalo is going to be slammed into face with multiple punches. Although the bottom side here, Regieleki. Now side on Los Duros, they have a little bit more advantage and pressure going into this.
Oh, the eject button from Amar to get away from the Electro Ball. The beam comes as well, but they do get the citrus berries. All they can do is abandon that goal right now. The rip on the Registeel coming on in from Hyper Gaming, getting ready with it. It's a close combat, but it doesn't get taken. Oscar can't reach just yet. Patu finds it as they try to hunt them down with the poor little Lucario trying to get out of the way. Dragapult dropping huge damage, and there we go. The beams are here right now. Hyper Gaming kind of need to go on a bit of a retreat because it is Lucario versus Lucario all day long, buddy. Dragapult's not happy with that, though. They want to come back into that fight. Hyper Gaming being really cheeky, staying so long there.
I like how they're going to play this, and it's going to be a bit of a problem. Now that, although we say that there's a bit of a problem, there is a new situation. A new player has entered the field here. Mega Lucario himself. Oscar is holding on to that Power Up Punch, waiting for opportunity here. There's an Aura Cannon on standby as well, so we need to wait for an opportunity here. Bottom side here, we have one Lone Crustle, taking a little bit of a snooze on the side here, but we're going to keep going back up here. Aura Cannon connecting here, but not the right one, as Oscar is still holding on to it. The Power Up Punch is going to connect onto the wrong target, unfortunately. No real hits onto them, but Oscar caught off guard here. The Blitz Deliverance and the Aura Cannon to clean this up, but no Mega Lucario.
Not able to stay on the field to be Mega Lucario, unfortunately. Does use the Aura Cannon, but KO'd pretty quickly. Albanoa didn't get much out of the Wonder Wish either, had that charge being ready to go, and unfortunately didn't just connect. So Los Duros have lost a little bit of ground in that top lane, but down here, they are still dominating up against Patu, trying to find some good hits. The Dreep and Destroy coming out onto the side of Louisian, but so much shielding on them, they're not really contested with it at all. Hyper Gaming going for the rip down in this bottom lane right now, buddy. It's still a Lucario fight fest up in this top side with the supporters to pair with them. Big Beam's going to come through from Louisian. That's going to find the KO onto the side of the Dragapult, and here comes the damage onto Snorlax. You can't defend against the mighty three of Los Duros.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Los Duros has a very strong lead going into this here. They might get a few picks here and there. Might be dodging a little bit from that. The Thunderstorm, Arrow, and Mystical Barrage being traded. But at the end of the day, it looks like Los Duros, even with a lack of levels, knows how to take fights well. They can judge when it's the right call. Now we do see a close combat flurry on the top side here, but not enough to turn this around, as they do have to take a fight with Reggie Alecki again. And this time it looks like Hyper Gaming has one-up them here, potentially picking this up for themselves. There we go. Dragonpop making a headways with that here, and we do see a problem now, and that's that this Snorlax is going to stop them from really doing too much in terms of defending the Reggie Alecki from coming close here.
I think they might be a little bit mad on the back of that one, Louisian, because they missed the yawn from the Snorlax. They managed to get out of the way. Here goes their verdant anger, but of course they're just going to be zoned out now by P2. But yes, so they missed the yawn on the side of the Snorlax, so they were going to try and get the beam onto the objective with Louisian, but unfortunately they got shut down by No Way trying to get the Rock Tomb on the side of the Dragapult, so they couldn't get that secure, unfortunately, and Hyper Gaming have now taken the lead off the back of that. They are trapped on this pad though, Night Terror, and here comes Lucario. Oscar looking to get better of the other half, but doesn't find it just yet. Rock Tomb's going to come through. Close combat's raining on down, but the healing is there for Lucario, and they're going to be able to get back into this fight and find the Clefable. It's non-stop battling between these two, but yet again, it's going to be Inha that comes out on top.
And again, wow, this Crustle is no way home, man. He's just stuck down there, waiting for opportunity. Unfortunately, like him though, Spider-Man's gonna have to find some way back to that Pokemon Center, and here we are. Moving that inside though, you are absolutely right, moving and turning headways here as we take this fight into the Alterias. It's gonna be a tough call with a nice yawn to pick up with the Venusaur here. It looks like the close combat is gonna connect to everyone else but the Snorlax. But a Power Punch does clean this up here, and Oscar is back on the field with an Aura Cannon to spare as well. And so we might see him pop it off very soon if he wants to just start taking a good team fight and then ripping onto the Groudon.
Getting ready for the Dreep and Destroy though is P2. They have been zoned out. It's the power of the double beam, buddy, that works a treat for Los Duros here, and they do find Pinner. They're sent back to the Pokemon Center, and now all they have to do is crash this pad. They have 15 seconds before the Groudon is in. I would take this fight. I would find the KOs, but no, they're going straight back to the central area here. That could have been an easy hundo burger.
Right, and this is the best part, right? They're gonna go into 2 minutes here, which is your time to call something, but now they have so much map control.
That they do, and they're going to try and utilize that to their advantage. Hyper Gaming have to come in from this here, which is perfect for a verdant anger, getting ready to get them in this. The double beam from left and right, buddy, but there goes the power nap with the Bliss assistance coming through as well. Oscar finds the KO onto the Blissey. The beams continue as Danny finds it. There's the Aura Cannon, but they've taken down Pinnar, and Los Duros have done what needs to be done to get a great position on ripping this Groudon. Gotta be wary though. Drakenlee is there. Imar's coming back in. They've got the Electro Balls ready to go. That's going to pop off very shortly. Mystical Mirage is out. Who's going to get the secure? It is going to be Los Duros, and it is going to be, I believe, the Mew that managed to grade it. Yes, it did, Danny.
I'm kind of surprised because I saw Oscar holding onto that Power Punch. I thought it was going to be a commit into Groudon, and they just try and rip it off from there. They had a lot of opportunities. He can position himself to hit both the Groudon and, of course, the enemy team here. But you know what? Play it safer a little bit. Can't go wrong here. A good call by Los Duros moving into this. But now Hyper Gaming is on the back foot here with a 351 to 166. Not impossible to turn this around, but a little bit tough when your enemy team is a lot higher than you in levels.
Yeah, no, it really is. I gotta say, I feel like the Lucario matchup was the most interesting in this game, Night Terror, and I feel like Pinner had the advantage for most of that, to be honest. They definitely had more. I didn't see much of the Mega from Lucario. I think I saw 2 Aura Cannons, and one of them they got KO'd the instant they used it. So it definitely wasn't the all-controlling Mega Lucario that I've been told it is going to be, and Hyper Gaming just not able to capitalize on a good position that they had. I think the Dragapult just didn't give them enough.
You think the Dragapult didn't give you enough? No, see, here's the thing. When you told me to check out stats, I did see what was buffed, and it was none of the things that apparently they used, right? Dragon Breath got buffed. Right, okay. But we saw him go with Shadow Ball, so that is interesting to say the least here. I gotta give it to you. Where's your hat? I put on a hat just for you.
I ended up losing my mind, bro, when we saw like some Mega Lucario action, and it ended up coming off. So here you go. Thank you for putting the hat on, mate.
It's a little bit tough for me to put a hat on with a headset on, but you know, matching the field here. What is not matching though is Los Duros going in with 1 point here, and Hyper Gaming kind of sitting down there, not really sure what he can do to turn this around. And as you can see here, the points were quite even. We didn't call this out very much here because not much development across the board, but it's only because of that one ground on fight, right, that ended it. Los Duros was able to make a clean stomp back against them.
I mean, if we needed a debate on who is so good on Mew, I mean, Danny has just put an exclamation point on that battle, Naiter. I feel like we definitely have to see Amar pull that out now because it's not going to be playable for Los Duros anymore. And I suspect Hypergaming will want to bring that action on board. But look, at the most of this game, the matchup in the top lane, very back and forth, but Hypergaming definitely had a little bit more of an advantage. Whereas in the bottom lane, it definitely felt more like Los Duros was getting the advantage.
A lot of blues and pinks on top side though. Not really sure which is my favorite portion of that, but they've got something to show for it. Bottom side though, you look at how they're able to dunk so readily early on here, which gives them so much levels to play around with. Yes, in the end, Hyper Gaming did catch up here, and of course they didn't really win in the end. But every single point you dunk is also going to give you EXP, and that's going to change the tide of the battle when your EXP bar fills up so fast early on.
It is very hard as well to take down Pinner when you have that Blissey healing 24/7. They were stuck to them like glue, buddy. But here is the good push into this little ambush, this little sort of area that you get stuck in with the Verdant Anger, and then a lot of beams coming through. I love the crisscross beam, buddy. I love the Ghostbuster beams coming out from Los Duros there and managing to get a huge amount of damage.
You gotta cross the streams. Now, but one thing I do want to note is, of course, as we have Clefable as the primary healer, there is no real root problem with that currently here, as they're not running the big root, to say the least. And so we might actually need to see a little bit more data for big root, or these players just haven't upgraded it and don't see a value in upgrading it.
No, I mean, I did we even see anyone using Big Root there? I'm just looking at the held items here, but no, exactly. So definitely, I would like to see some of that coming out. But here is our MVP, and would it be anything else but the Venusaur? Louisin takes it for game 1 with 91k damage dealt, and that's it. A massive 11 assists there, buddy, doing exactly what a Venusaur is on the field to do.
And mind you, this was not a sludge beam build, this was a Giga Drain beam build, which is a very good call considering you kind of just want to keep the sustain on, right? If they all jump on you, Giga Drain, and you'll have damage reduction as well as an additional pump of healing for you to maybe fire off one more shot. So, I mean, good call on their part here. They have the damage, they didn't need to, do any more. They already had the streams crossing.
That they did. I really like that, but that's not going to be playable anymore for Los Duros. This is Fearless Draft. So the difficulty is, with that kind of play there, you've taken out 2 of the strongest ranged attackers in this game right now, Nightera. So it's one of those where you've given a lot. Now they're going to use the Alolan Raichu, I suspect, and then Miraidon further on down the line. But then you really get into the stage where you don't quite have the range attackers that you want to use. Inteleon still gets a little bit of use, but I feel like not much compared to these others right now. And then you do have, I guess, Mewtwo Y that you can pull out, but they're not the same impact as Mew and Venusaur, in my opinion.
Well, you're right in some sense, right? At the end of the day, it's kind of what you want to do. Do you want sustained overall damage, or do you want a a burst of damage? And of course, a burst of damage is really great because Tano, imagine I suddenly flew to EU house and I gave you a punch, right? You're not gonna see that coming. It's gonna do a good chunk of damage.
I would not see that coming. That is very true.
You would not, right? But if I'm gonna keep telling you, I'm gonna punch you, I'm gonna punch you, I'm gonna punch you, it's gonna it repeats itself, and you know it's coming. And that's kind of the problem you have with either a burst damage Pokemon and a Pokemon that's constantly pelting you with damage, right? Mewtwo Y is fantastic, right? We cannot deny.
Oh,
that.
I agree.
Right? Cinderace is also equally fantastic based on that logic, but if you're not going to be able to sustain that fight long enough because you can't take them down fast and then everyone collapse on you, then you're kind of stuck with that problem of like, do I really want to keep staying here and pelting them when I can just play Venusaur and be like 1 beam, 2 beam? Yep. So I guess that is the logic that we're going to see whether they can overcome here, because Dragapult was in that camp as well of, it's really good, presumably.
I mean, 80k damage, I think we saw out of Patu in that, so it wasn't bad by any means. It's just an interesting Pokemon to pick up in that sense. But we're in a best of 5 Fearless Draft, buddy, so you do have to pull out those kind of Pokemon at some stage. Why not do it in game 1? Right now, it looks like they're going to go for the ban on the Alolan Raichu, and Los Duros, they're doing exactly what I thought they would do, mate.
Okay, but real quick, I do want to come up with Hyper Gaming's first lineup. They did lose very core Pokemon here. Lucario, very strong. I wouldn't say it's the best in the top lane, but you did lose one of the strongest supports here, right? You lost Blissey, you lost Snorlax, who's arguably one of the strongest defenders as well. You're kind of lacking when it comes to like a strong defender and a strong support. Now, you sure you've got a few options here like Blastoise and whatnot, but you know, it's kind of shaky.
Ooh, Losteros are going to ban out the Mew. I love this. Take it away from Amar. And the Alolan Raichu is off the field as well. So we are going to see some other ranged attackers. They could go for the Venusaur here, but Suicune is pick up a bull. And of course, so is that Empoleon that could come in for Losteros here.
No, Tano, work with me here. I have a conspiracy theory. Right?
Okay.
I think Los Euros is just gonna ban Mew for the rest of the games. So that technically speaking, Danny is by definitive cause the best Mew player in terms of the hit-to-hit, and Ira would never get a chance to play Mew. That's conspiracy theory, right? But I feel it.
Hey bro, they'll be the facts, mate, and it's a bold strategy. I'd like to see if that works out for Losteros.
I see you. It's a good game plan, but I'm not sure if you want to waste the ban on that. Just saying.
Well, I mean, the thing is, no matter what Amar has in their hands, they are very capable on it. So you can't, there's only so much that you can do to limit players like that. Pinner's going to pull out the Pawmot here. Louisian has that Empoleon ready to go. Drakenlee is going to come with the Umbreon. Interesting. So is that going to be their main support here with that Wish? And then they're going to build some more sort of ranged attack with that defender. Let's have a look what Hyper Gaming do, because Los Duros, whoa, they're going to respond with the Miraidon that we knew Danny was going to take.
Hey, you know, I wish with all my heart to fly with dragons in the land of art. We're not going to see Gyarados, unfortunately, but we do see Miraidon on the other side. Danny, with the call out here from the hit-to-hit, being one of the core Pokemon that Danny has used in terms of assisting a team really well. So we're going to see that's going to reflect well here. But on the other side, though, we do see Pawmot, which is, let me just put it out there for everyone. Pokemon Unite official Twitter pages, top 4 picks for Big Root, and we're not seeing Big Root be used.
Top 4
just want to call it out.
It's ridiculous. But there, I mean, the triple all-rounder, or I suppose pseudo defender in the sense of the Suicune being there. So it is going to be the Umbreon that goes for the Wish, and it is going to be a Mar on the Venusaur. We can't see the items, so we don't know whether it's going to be the Beam. I can see an eject button, so that's what I expect it to be. And they don't have any range if they don't go for that. Whereas Oscar is going to come on out with a Dodrio. Now that is an interesting matchup, Nightera, because Dodrio is going to have one job and one mission only, and that is a Mar, but they have a very strong front line around them.
So definitely going to see how that one pans out for them. But you're absolutely right at the end of the day. Now, of course, my favorite lookout for is actually on Los Duros' side with the Empoleon here, which is very strong because if we're comparing Suicune and Empoleon as one of the strongest Pokemon in the meta in terms of even just standalone licenses, I kind of feel that Empoleon does a lot more in terms of, you know, breaking way and making way for a team, whereas Suicune is just really good at like pushing the middle ground for his team here, which is going to come down to whether Venusaur is running the Beam build or the Pedal Drain build, right? So let's take a look at whether that's going to be a factor. But Tano, I have a favorite. It's going to be Los Duros.
Fair dues. I kind of want to root for Hyper Gaming because they're a very good squad and I love seeing them in these games. The Suicune is the king of crowd control, buddy. I don't think there's a better Pokemon for crowd control in this game other than Suicune right now. There's some very good ones, but I think Suicune is the best. And the battle against Empoleon is going to be very interesting. I think the battle between, again, Amar and Danny is going to be very interesting because that's the only ranged attacker that either of these teams have. Here we go, buddy. This is game 2 in our best of 5. Hyper Gaming still over on our purple side. Los Duros are taking the orange side.
Now, of course, we're going to see Piplup going into the central area here, and of course, Pommy going into the center area of Hyper Gaming here. Now, what I want to call out, though, is that production, you guys are going to give us a hit-to-hit for the both of us casters. One of us is going to be Suicune, Tano, and I'm going to be Empoleon. Okay? Just saying. Moving that though, we are seeing a Bulbasaur that's slowly losing its butt here, withering away, but thankfully making some headways is going to be the side of Los Duros, who now is going to collapse onto this lone Eevee here. It's just taking so much damage. Wow, the amount of abuse that this cat can take is insane. They're returning the favor onto Snorlax here, but Miraidon, Danny, what are you doing? You're just gonna suck along the miss onto the Razor Leaf. It could be down. It's looking close. There's the pickup here. What a early fight going into this. this. There's no reason to be this hype.
Bro, I could watch that back and forth all day. We saw 3 focus band pops during the bottom of that lane fight. It was crazy. Up in the top side, though, Hyper Gaming have got the better of Lost Heroes at the moment with a couple of stacks going in. But wisely, we see the retreat call from Patu for the rest of their team. They grab all of this farm here, though. I think Oscar maybe got a little bit. They're about to go down before they can go home. Hyper Gaming take control of the top lane.
Well, you know what? That's a 2-for-1 deal here. You've got 2 hits. Moving into that here, Aimar's a little bit stuck all alone, and there might be the pick. That's not the pickup, that's the revenge! They actually returned the favor back into him. And Hyper Gaming's looking a little bit more confident here. We do see the palm-up finally coming into the fray here. Oscar, you're a little bit stuck down there. Don't know if you want to commit to that.
Bro, what is this game? Absolute crazy back and forth so far. Oscar looking for that KO. Doesn't find it. Seconds before Regidrago is on the field. Patu is gonna go home here. They get disrupted. They're trying to see where they can go right now, though. They're getting damage put onto them from Albert Noah. Oscar still looking for the Dodrio heads. Hasn't got that online. And they do find a KO to Los Duros. The Regidrago rotating down into that bottom lane right now. Night Terror. Empoleon's gonna show up. And so is Hyper Gaming.
And of course, where you'll see that Empoleon is going to show up. That's the scary part, right? Level 7 Empoleon double buff. We have a level 6 Aymar. And that's the biggest problem, right? That 1 level difference. No pedal drain, no beam, no nothing. You really can't contest anything. You have Suika coming to help you out, but otherwise, looks like this Empoleon is running scot-free throughout this fight here.
Oh, and they want to find this KO, buddy.
Cannon.
They go in with the Whirlpool. The Poopa's going to go down. They're so weak. There's nowhere they can go, but back to Nurse Joy. Patu is trying to see what they can get out of this top lane with all this farm being around, but they have 3 of Los Duros surrounding them, and they're stuck because they missed that one. Albert Noah doesn't get hit, and they do manage to find the push on to the Empoleon, but they get KO'd anyway, buddy. Danny with a ferocious defense on this T1 pad, trying to go up against them too. Aymar has gone for the pedal dance.
This is crazy. Aymar had so much opportunities to pick up that extra citrus berry. I'm not really sure what the game plan was. Maybe just cold feet at the very end here. It cost them quite a bit. Now the biggest problem is that they don't really have a range option. They have a dive comp, so to speak here, which makes a big problem because I don't really know if you want to dive into a team that so ready to accept you, especially when you have Empoleon with Hydro Cannon, right? Hits you once, there's a giant pool underneath you, everyone's gonna get hit.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either, to be honest, buddy, because you don't have any ranged attack now, and that's the thing, because I fair enough, go for the get on. That's exactly what they're doing here. Mars trying to see if they can get onto Danny and find that KO, but look at the way that Los Duros is responding here, buddy. They've surrounded Aymar. Giga Drain is great for keeping you sustained, though, and they do have the wish from Drakenlee, but it's just one of those where now you definitely get outranged at every single fight. But Los Duros kind of broken up here. We do see Drill Pet coming out from Oscar, finds that one, manages to escape, but the rip on the Regieleki is coming in from Hyper Gaming. The Hydra Cannon does come through, but doesn't get the secure, and now the block from Snorlax, trying to see if they can really limit what that approach is, but still, the Regieleki gets taken by Hyper Gaming.
It's a very good try across the board here. Hyper Gaming just needs a little bit of a push, maybe an extra teammate to help them out. This Regieleki trying to make some headways here, but Palmot moving into the back as Dani is stuck, trying to cast a Bright Fusion Fear Storm with to no avail as well. I mean, Palmot just took that like a champ moving into this here. And of course, we do see Snorlax pushing and holding his ground against the 2 of them, the Suicune and Venusaur, who unfortunately just kind of have to back away considering what's happening here. The opponent's back into the fray here. Hyper Gaming had some headways, but just can't really capitalize on the advantage that it got.
I feel like we should not have doubted this Petal Dance Venusaur, bro. I always forget how ridiculously difficult it is to get KO'd.
Had to see it. You just
they
had to see
do
it.
find it. They do find. Yeah, but look at how many resources they've had to use on it, buddy. Sovereign Slide comes in. They're just using so much to find that KO, and it just takes all of it. Gets the healing from Giga Drain. It just works, bro.
No, but Tano, look at the conversion that they're getting off this. Los Duros is pushing points now. For the amount of resources that they pushed out, I mean, it's only natural they get a 230 points to the 55 that Hyper Gaming has. It only makes sense here, which is a big problem because now they're just pushing their lead. So I don't know if I can agree with you if it is a good call to bring the Petal Dance. I do agree he's really strong. Aymar holding his crown like that, but again, like you said, is it a good call? It feels really wrong when you get punished like that.
No, I mean, I do think that they should have gone for the beam. I think we carry on like this. It's all going to come down to this Groudon fight, buddy. They are currently, just under 200 points behind right now. They need some more, but the difficulty is the pressure that Lost Heroes have managed to find on Hypergaming, and they can't match it right now. They've got Oscatar constantly going up and down, dropping damage with the drill pecks. They're trying to get through No Way here and get onto the side of Danny, but every time they do, Lost Heroes swarms them, and it's just working for them. Here comes Empoleon. Louisian's looking to get involved in this fight, while the 50 dunk goes into the top lane, buddy. They're trying to see if they can find the kill onto the Hooper here. Albano is going to have to back up. Bright Future Meteor Storm is going to come on in. The rip on the Regieleki's through as well. Moonlight Transfer's there, and guess what? It's Lost Heroes that secures it. The power of the Empoleon. Now they just need the KOs. Albano is in the middle of it, and of course, so is Amar. They've not been taken down just yet, but there we go. Louisian finds it. Lost Heroes has way too much pressure for Hypergaming to deal with.
Yeah, unfortunately, with just one lone Umbreon here, he's looking like the demon from K-pop Demon Hunters, right? And this entire team is just like, the Slayers. It's kind of hard to say the least here. They have the similarities. Unfortunately, it's going to be a tough one for them. Hypergaming is going to need to find some headway back into this race if they want to win.
279 to 55 right now. They've defended the Regieleki. They've got experience up on their field. They just need to go and grab all of that. We definitely need to see a level 12, level 13, realistically, Venusaur at the Groudon fight. 40 seconds left to go. Need to go and take all of that. That's exactly what they're doing. But now we have a top objective about to come on in. And Lost Heroes, they're rotating, ready to go for it, buddy. What is it going to be? Just waiting to see if anybody wants to go for it from the side of Hypergaming.
I feel like Lost Heroes has this one in the back here. The best Hypergaming is going to do is kind of dish some damage back into it. But you have a level 14 Empoleon. I'm not too sure if I want to go against that. So we're going to see how they respond accordingly here. All the pickups are in. We do see Suicune hovering there, but one heavy slam is going to hold them back here. Unfortunately, it's not going to pick anyone up here, and Hypergaming is still at least going to come out mostly healthy, except for that one Demon Slayer.
Oh, buddy, Oscatar finding that one. Amar's going to go straight onto the Groudon here, looking for it. Triple Trample's going to come on through. There's an anger coming out as well. It is at 50%. Endless Ice Spikes are there, looking for the KO. Bright Fury Meteor Storm to come on through. And it's going to be Lost Heroes that shows Hypergaming how it's done as they take out the entirety of the team. Just Umbreon left to defend against the world. Lost Heroes extend their lead.
You did not just do that in front of me. What a beautiful... You have to give yourself credit for that. It is truly how it's done.
Buddy, I'm the biggest K-pop stan in the world, man.
Right. We should make one for ourselves, right? We've got 3 of us. One day we'll find like magical for this. Moving to that though, it looks like it's gonna be a tough one here. Lost Heroes is 2/3 of their traffic light done, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Hypergaming is to find a way to pick themselves back up into this game here. They gotta win 3 in a row, and that's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure, buddy. They're currently at the stage now where they've got to do one of the hardest things to do in esports, and that is a reverse sweep. It ain't easy. So you've got to make sure that you win every single game here on out. The advantage is always going to be on Lost Heroes moving forward. All they got to do is win one more. What you've got to do, you got to win 3 in a row, bro.
Right, I mean, they don't really look hyper or gaming at the moment here. It's gonna be a tough one to hold out here. Of course, I think the better call here is not to really play this game, but as a team, kind of sit back and figure out what is the plan. What am I going to do here, right? You've got 30 seconds, make use of that time.
Yeah, you got to kind of get back to the board. Thousand Island dressing on the board here for Lost Heroes. Brilliant coming out from them. But Hypergaming, they definitely need to go back to that drawing board. You got to look at the Pokemon that Lost Heroes no longer have access to. The Empoleon was used. They used the Mega Lucario in Game 1. Are they going to rotate their bans so both of them are taken out? Because we know how strong they are currently in this game. Hypergaming would get access to the Mew at that stage. So even Lost Heroes, they've got to go back to the board here, bro.
Now, here's the easy solution for Lost Heroes, right? They haven't picked up... Welcome back, ST. That's you. Yeah, as I was saying, Lost Heroes has a very easy solution going to this year. Obviously, just picking really strong Pokemon. So, I guess the counterplay here for Hypergaming is, can you guys ban out Blaziken? Can you guys ban out Suicune? Right? That is the strongest bans you can pick against Lost Heroes right now, who hasn't picked themselves up for those. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck playing against really strong Pokemon. It's not about banning the team now. It's about banning mons that they can use really well to really snowball you. That's what I feel. As you look at that here, that's the back and forth you're looking for, right? The 3 focus bans.
That was so good, man. I very much enjoyed that. It did seem like Hypergaming were going to get some advantage from it, but Danny just cannot be stopped. It was a brilliant effort across the board. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You've got to have, and I love that go home, that reclaim. But yeah, you've got to have some sort of plan here because they do have very strong Pokemon that they can still pull out. It's Fearless Draft, mate. I think Hypergaming came out of the gate with very strong ones. I mean, we're only in game 2 here, and they've played probably the main picks in this meta already.
Right. Here's the problem with Fearless Draft, right? At the end of the day, when you ban a Pokemon, you're not even allowed to use it anyways. And so what I just suggested means that Hyper Gaming is also locking us out of Suicune, which is already played, but Blaziken, more importantly, a very strong brawler. So if they're willing to let go of the Blaziken ban, unless their first pick here, I think there's still a chance for Hyper Gaming to really pull themselves back into this. But otherwise, Suicune and Blaziken are the top bans going for Hyper Gaming. That's what I feel.
If I was Lost Heroes, I would want to stay on the orange side here, buddy, because if your plan is to ban out the Mega Lucario and the Empoleon, Hyper Gaming are going to get one big pick, but then you get 2 to counter straight off the bat. And I think that's probably going to be more beneficial in these Fearless Drafts the lower down that we go.
Right. So let's see how it pans out for them here. I don't think you're wrong in saying that. In fact, I think that it's something that has to be considered very thoroughly here. What we're saying in general is that at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to, can you build a comp with what you have left here? And you don't need a comp with those 2 Pokemon, right? Suicune is just generally really good here. If you're frozen, you're frozen. Like, whatever damage is going to get tacked onto you will get tacked onto you. That's number 1. And Blaziken is just great in general. So we have to see how they play this out here, moving to the replays. I don't think there's too much to talk about when it comes to the stats here. Los Duros has, handily given themselves off another win against Hyper Gaming here. And now Hyper Gaming has a lot more to show for.
That they do. And, I mean, MVP. Surprise, surprise. Louisan comes out with the MVP on the Empoleon? Bro, can I not pronounce that? Empleon.
According to production.
Oh, I was like, bro, it got me. They got me. A 96k damage coming out from Louisan, though. 13 assists, 327 points scored in that Thousand Island dressing for Los Duros. They are on the verge of defeating Hyper Gaming with a 3-0 victory here in this best of 5. And it just alludes to the fact that Los Duros have been getting better and better every week that we see them compete.
Hey, to be fair, they did get pummeled in another different league that we do know about. And to be honest here, they kind of want to pick themselves back up and get ready for that one. They've got a good showing here. I think they're going to be one of the strongest teams to look out for in the Unite Fight Club.
That they are. So, now, Nightera, the biggest question is, what is the best song in K-pop Demon Hunters, and why is it how it's done?
Midol Soda Pop. It's Soda Pop, 100%. Okay, look. Everyone who asked me since it came out has been telling me, you've never watched Jima? I just told them, no, I'm not. I've heard the songs. I didn't know they were from there.
And wait, you've not seen it?
I haven't seen it. I will continue to not see it.
Bro, for our friendship to continue, you have to see that film.
All right, I'll make sure it happens either tomorrow or tonight. So that we can have a good weekend, right? We'll figure it out.
Good. That will make me very happy, buddy. But
all right,
what could make you very happy, chat, is checking out our sponsors. We have Pink Parsnip Computers, the incredible people over there. They sell parts for your PCs. They sell accessories for streaming. Anything to do with that kind of thing, you can go check out. And we've got plenty of codes for you to use as well. Engage for 5% off your entire order site-wide. Engage Stream will get you £15 off the Stream Deck Mini, and the code ENGAGESHIP will give you free UK shipping on any purchase over £300. Go check them out, Pink Parsnip Computers.
Sorry, can you repeat the one where you talk about the Stream Deck Mini? That's really important for me.
Right, what a deal! £15 off the Stream Deck Mini using Engage Stream, bro. Get on the website, get it bought. Let's go.
Oh, hold on, you cast over it for a bit. I'm gonna do my thing.
I'll take over, bro. Okay, so ban-wise, Los Duros are doing exactly what I expected them to do. It's going to be a ban on the Mega Lucario, a ban on the Empoleon, and I tell you what, I love that game plan. They've used 2 of the strongest Pokemon in this meta so far, given themselves 2 wins, and now they're going to make sure Hyper Gaming doesn't get access to them.
Keep on.
Okay, keep on.
I'm scrolling.
Suicune and the Alolan Raichu going to be banned out for hypergaming. Poopa's going to pick up the Hooper. Poopa on the Hooper here, looking to see if they can give that assistance to their team. Albanoa is going to bring out the god of support, the queen of support, Albanoa, with the Eldegoss. No way is going to be out with the Blastoise. Now, I would not expect that defender to be picked that early, chat. We still have Snorlax. No, we don't. They've banned Snorlax out. They've used it. It's Fearless Draft. But Trevenant,
right.
Crustle, you could see coming out, although Lostoros uses it. So Trevenant, maybe over the Blastoise. But either way, Latios is here by Amar. They can't use the Alolan Raichu because they've used it. The Mew hasn't been used yet by Amar, and it's no longer banned, but they've gone for Latios.
All right, pause your analysis. What's the discount code real quick?
It is INGAGE Stream, capital letters.
Oh,
this is how much we believe in our sponsors, chat.
I mean, I'm kind of new to like Engage UFC, right? So like, you can't take my word for it, but the fact that I'm going in to buy it now is important because yes, apparently there is a £15 discount, and well, I don't know about you, but I'm already ordering it. So Tano, please continue your analysis while I figure that out.
Okie dokie, bro. We do have Garchomp coming onto the field for hypergaming here. That is not the all-rounder I was expecting to see, and Patu is going to go for the Cinderace. We had some Dragapult earlier, chat. Now we're seeing Cinderace coming out from hypergaming, looking to capitalize on that rip damage. What is Danny going to bring on out? We've already seen the Mew. We've already seen the Miraidon. It's going to be the Decidueye here for Danny, and I cannot wait to see that matchup.
All right, I have kind of got ready my order. I just need my card. I'll go and grab it later here. We've talked about the potato pickup here quite a while back. Oscar is also doing very similar. No burst damage of sorts coming in from Losteros. That is interesting.
I mean, yeah, 100%, but you're going to have the Spirit Shackle from Oscar. They've rotated Danny onto the Palmer. I wasn't expecting that at all, but fair play. I like this from Losteros. Give us something to keep hypergaming on their toes, keep us casters on our toes, and bring out the action.
Now, the problem is I see that there is a Garchomp, right? We talked about this, right? Like, let's pick up something really strong. I'm not saying Latios is not strong. It's not Latias, apparently, according to you. But it is a problem where it's like, how many good Pokemon can I fit left in my team? I don't think that Latios was a very forced pick, or like a one that you kind of contest against the other team. It just kind of like, all right, it fits in my team. Let's put it in, kind of deal. It's not first pick. Blaziken feels like a first pick, and they have chosen for Garchomp instead of that. That feels a little bit off, you know? They want to pick a win here. I feel that Losteros has a stronger team, despite not having burst damage. That is the key. It could be that really changes the game here. Tano, let's get into this. It's going to be one for the ages. Match point. Losteros is going to finish this off if they take a win here.
And what is interesting is that despite the fact that hypergaming went for two ranged attackers, no speedster came out of Losteros. I think that would have been a brilliant pick there, because there's actually not that much frontline to protect hypergaming. You've got the Garchomp that's probably going to want to stay in that top lane for quite a while, and you do have the Crustle. But again, I think a speedster would have been a great shout, but Poopa wants to lock in with an invade here, trying to see if they can limit Danny, and it's going to be so easy to do this early on, mate.
Right, and they're already doing so much damage pushing into this here. Now, here's the other problem here. Moving into that, Hoopa is stuck in this potential problem of not being able to exit out and giving a little bit more EXP to Danny, which, I mean, you bought some time. Raboot's actually early ahead in the fight here, who all have given to, you know, this lone Squirtle, who's also not level 5 anyways, so you kind of have an advantage against them. You want to push that advantage right now. And of course, on the other side, Danny, returning the favor here, is not able to pick up anything for herself, and that is great news going into this, right? Just a jump. They do have it onto Aima, forcing an eject button, and again, they still got their stacks in as well.
Yeah, that's great. 10 stacks on the board. 29 points for Losteros, uncontested at the moment. Looking for those levels is Oscar. They're very weak. They got to watch out for them getting closed in on by this Crustle. And Mars ready as well on the side of the Draco Meteors, trying to rain them down. They don't have enough stacks just yet to cause mega damage, but Oscar is so weak, and they're still looking to get the KOs, buddy. They got the stacks they needed. Danny has been slowed from the Rock Tomb, and Mars is looking for the KO, but they managed to use the jump to get themselves free. No way at the moment, using the freezes does manage to jump over the rock tomb, and Los Duros are sticking to Hyper Gaming like glue down here. They refuse to be defeated.
And here's the thing with Hyper Gaming's comp now, just for the bot side of things, right? Crosso's like entire job right now is just to sit there and make sure they stay still. Because at the end of the day, Aymar is stacking with Draco Meteor. He's getting so much value off every meteor that hits them, and it's not one target, it's 2 targets, 1 meteor, right? So it's like gonna constantly stack over and over again. They might actually have the damage to push it out here. Now my question is, do they have the way to push themselves into a good fight, a good position?
Patu is now here on the Cinderace. That's a brilliant state to be at for Hyper Gaming. They're going to try and chase down Albanoa here. It does at least pull some time away. They're going to go back, but the difficulty is how much Pinaz managing to lock in. And with this Garchomp in the top lane, buddy, they've got stacks. They need to get onto Garchomp as quick as possible. Los Duros have been dominating down here, but you are right. It's all about the stacks that Amar is managing to get on the side of that Draco Meteor.
Ready?
Here comes Patu looking to see if they could find a KO, but again, stacks. That's what it's all about, baby.
There was one more meteor that just missed off the pile of swine, and if it had hit, that was a KO again, and that's another additional 1 stack on that. So it's gonna be a big problem, and it's starting to see that even the tank of your team is taking so much damage off Aymar. And so I'm a little bit afraid to say this, but Hyper Gaming might actually have a good chance moving into this. They just need some levels here. They need a Garchomp to get ready before they can do much.
That's taken by Los Duros, trying to see if they can secure it with Drakenlee. Not able to do so just yet. Here comes the Draco Meteors. It's going to be so scary in the late game because they have 100% managed to find quite a few stacks here. But Reggie Drago has been taken by Hyper Gaming as well. They are giving themselves every advantage that they need to get back into this game. And it's already a very close one. Looking at the levels, they just need a couple more and they're able to catch up. They've got Garchomp on the field now, nearly at the Unite move ready on the side of that Cinderace and the Latios as well.
So much respect coming from both sides here. They don't know where the other team is, of course, here. And if you want to say who will respond first, obviously the one with Hoopa, right? And so I really like how they are respectful of the fact that it could have been a really detrimental fight when the Garchomp and Blastoise are just sitting at top. And right now they do have global experience from Hyper Gaming here. I don't want to jinx it, but Hyper Gaming is looking really good in this fight.
That they are, and oh, the full charge spark coming out from Danny to lock in the KO onto Patu.
Hold on.
And Los Duros are trying to shut down what we just called, buddy. And Mar gets more stacks, but still, they find the KOs and they manage to break the pad. 198 points to 44 now with this 6 going on in. Still a strong lead for Los Duros.
It's crazy to see how Aymar just, you know, kind of happy with whatever he's doing. Doesn't he do too much? He gets so much profit out of it. It's kind of scary. Moving into that though, we do see bot also being broken. Top is broken. Hyper Gaming is a little bit behind when it comes to points here, or you know, it's 150 for me is a little. Then I'm not really sure what's a lot.
To be fair, this game is all about scoring, buddy, as we know, but it's even more so with the Groudon being on the field.
Five,
oh my
six.
god! Oh my god!
Hydro Typhoon
pops the Hydro Typhoon, knowing that they were going to get KO'd at that moment. We do see the bicycle kick coming back as well from the Cinderace. Doesn't find the KO on Louise in the dive-in from Danny, though, as they try and find something here right in the center of Hyper Gaming's front line. They do manage to get out just now, but look at those Draco Meteors, buddy. It's all day long, never ending.
It is so beautiful to see Aymar pushing it so much damage just like that. It is ridiculous how they're going to continue to, you know, reign supreme in this entire fight. Look at the amount of damage he's doing to like Pokémon. And there it is, Dani out for the count here. Aymar putting back 1 up against Dani on the hit-to-hit here. And you gotta say, I gotta love it. Hyper Gaming now onto the Regieleki and Hazardous teammates. Now they've got 6 Pokemon in their team technically as they move into this here. They're all clumped up here. 1 Draco Meteor is gonna be really detrimental. Aymar at the back foot here. There's the Draco Meteor. There's the pickup on the Eos Blast here. And there it is. Whoa, just like that. Another chunk of damage going down. But of course, it's full spark charge here. He's gonna jump in and Palmot takes another KO. Returning a favor here is also Garchomp. It's gonna be unfortunately down for the count.
But look at how much damage they've managed to drop Aymar and how many KOs they found before Los Duros could even get onto them, buddy. And now they've cut this score lead down by over half. What a great approach by this team. Yeah, they didn't win the early game. They didn't win the mid game. But it's all about this late game. And the stacks that Aymar has on that Pokemon right now is scary.
I don't even want to count here. There are 6 meteors raining from the sky. You can do the math, Tano. I'm not going to. I just know there's a lot of damage, and it kind of hurts. Moving into this, though, they lose Gacha once again here, who unfortunately has to push in. Hoopa going very close. Hydro Typhoon almost picking up the Cinder Ace here, but unfortunately, Hoopa just doesn't really have an option to kind of escape that if he's going to eject button, and this means they lose the Reggie Rock. Moving into the 3-minute mark here is looking really good for them. They just need to continue to push their advantage. Pushing out into Crustle, there's no more tank here. Aymar is going to have to go into this raw, and he's going to have to take whatever is coming for him.
This is what it's about with good teams, buddy. When you have a Pokemon like that Latios with that many stacks and how dominant it can be, how you respond to it is how you show yourself to be a great team. Los Duros have managed to do that in these early moments here, or these late moments rather, because we're 30 seconds away from Groudon coming onto the field. That's what it's all about. They have to find the KO onto not only Batu they've got to be concerned about because of the rip that comes from that. The Livid Outrage is going to be diving straight into them, buddy. Whilst all that is going on, it's going to be Aymar dropping Mega Draco Meteors from the back.
You know, I used to think all that is about is the hokey pokey, but after seeing the Draco Meteors, it's a little bit different moving to that. We're pushing the 2-minute mark here, Tano. I think you've got some words you want to say.
That I do, buddy. Here is the game. When there's a Groudon, the game is on, and boy, is it. Aymar drops the Draco Meteors from the get-go. We dive on through with the Rebel Rouser, but guess what? Zips that full charge spark comes through as well. The Hydro Typhoon is going to connect, but it's going to be none other than a Spirit Shackle from Danny Oscar rather that locks it in for Los Duros, baby. 140 left on the clock. The ace comes through. The Hundo Burgers are going to rain on in with some sides to beat, and Los Duros look like they're going to take this best of 5.
And unfortunately for them, it looks like they just weren't fast enough with the respawn here to actually pick themselves up to defend mid here. In fact, if Aymar was just a few seconds earlier, he might have a chance to actually stop Los Duro from dropping any more than they have. 400 points is a lot more manageable than the 600 they have to go through right now here. And unfortunately for them, it's going to be a tough call for the 1-minute timer, especially when you're going to lose your Garchomp and your Crustle here. No front line to work with. Aymar, all that stacks is just not converting, unfortunately. And this is going to be a problem because, hey, now they can't even exit the base.
That is the power of Los Duros. What a way to lock in the Groudon fight, buddy. They didn't give it a moment. The second that Pokemon was on Faya Sky Ruins, it all broke out and they found the KOs that they were looking for. Not only did we see a brilliant move by Danny to lock down Aymar, but we also saw a good approach coming out from Oscar with the rips and the secure, with Louisian in the middle of that den as well. Los Duros did exactly what they needed to do to lock in this best of 5.
And are we really saying that Los Duros didn't give their best? No, they just completely showed them what it's like. I mean, I was a little afraid Los Duros was going to lose their edge there against Hyper Gaming. They had a really tough fight early on here, and it was able to just kind of convert slowly but surely as the time ticked down. And that is a tough one to say the least here. But Hyper Gaming, you put up a fantastic fight going into this. Los Duros definitely had a little bit to worry about in that last match.
And it's all about scoring these points as well. So good effort by Hyper Gaming to continue, because of course, as we get later into season 1 here, chat, goal difference rather is going to make a difference. That's what it's there for. So I like that from Hyper Gaming. But Los Duros, buddy, oh, this team, I love watching this team. They take this with a 3-0 victory as we have a look at these stats.
And the numbers don't lie here. You can definitely see how there was a very strong fight going around here. However, your main key players were Aymar and, unfortunately, a Garchomp who just didn't really have a way to sustain himself going into this. Now, I'm not saying Big Root is the answer here. 5 KOs is still really good considering you take 50% of the team's damage and battles. But, like, it's one Pokemon. Like, you need to go in against a team who has so much ways of slowing you down, pushing you back, and even if you want to, like, challenge them, they can jump in themselves.
That they can. This was really good from Los Duros. They were really aggressive. They were getting really weak, going back out, getting a little bit of self-sustain back, going back on in. Like, this was intense down in this bottom lane to begin with, buddy. And Los Duros did manage to get the upper hand.
And that's the worst part, right? Because I think that that one fight that you just talked about was the very reason why Hyper Gaming had a chance of winning, because they stacked so much for free from Aymar, and that was scary. That was the biggest hit.
That's the thing that you've got to consider, isn't it? When you've got a Latios in your lane, you've got to consider the fact when you're pushing like that and you're staying so far on their side, they're getting stacks, and that's going to really affect you in the late game. So you kind of got to be like, yeah, let me go do what I need to do and get out of there, bro. We got to make sure that we're not getting targeted if we can't find the KO on them straight away.
Right. Moving into that though, this fight is definitely another depiction of how they were just so dominant after that, right? Somewhere within the middle mark, you can see how Los Deros was able to push in so deep into the enemy side of things here. The map, look at the map control, right? Hyper Gaming had their map kind of invaded across the board here. They tried to take a fight here, and unfortunately, they just had so many outs, even burning a Unite move to escape here. And this is the one that scared me, because look at Aymar at the back.
I know, it was so good. I enjoyed that so much. They knew their main target here was going to be that Decidueye. Drop those Draco Meteors, pair it with that Eon Blast, and you're going to find an easy KO. But this, Los Duros flipping it in this moment, but just before the Groudon took to the field, they find some really important KOs. They took Crustle out, they took the Cinderace out, and now Aymar, look, trying to find those KOs, and guess who's in their face? No way. You are shut down by crowd control, and at this moment, they had the perfect targets that they needed to find to be able to lock this in. It was a good effort from Draconly to try and stop that Spirit Shackle, but it's not Snipe Shot, Nightera. Spirit Shackle will pierce, and Oscitar finds the KO onto Groudon.
You know, I've never considered that Snipe Shot doesn't pierce. The more I think about it, yeah, there are a lot of precedents on why, you know, Decidueye still can be a very strong key player in terms of any composition here. But then again, you know, that's why I'm sitting down here. I'm not playing.
Oh, that was an absolute beauty, was that set, mate. I very much enjoyed it. Los Duros were very impressive. There were some bright moments from Hyper Gaming as well. I was hoping that they would be able to overcome that one and give us more Pokemon Unite action, because those stacks, they were off the charts. But Los Duros will not be moved. They're going to take this with a 3-0 victory, one of them being a 1,000 Island dressing game. And now we're going to get ready for the next set, chat. But I believe we will head to a quick break after we see the MVP. And would it be anyone else? Danny playing the Pokémon with over 100k damage dealt here, Nightera.
Unfortunately for Aymar, did not pick up a Mew, did not get the shredded stuff. So I guess we gotta have to say it, right? Danny is 100% in that hit to it. The clear victor after this. Did not need to ban Mew is kind of funny though. I definitely had that conspiracy theory on me.
Yeah, that they did, but I was so interested that they didn't play the Mew, but Danny comes out of that head-to-head feeling pretty rosy, and they are the MVP here, chat. We are going to take a quick break. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, because we have Los Catacados taking on No Follow up next. Hello gamers, Spartan Tano here from INGAGE GG, giving you the rundown on our most recent sponsor, grabtap. The incredible team over at grabtap have got me to get on this video and show you how their website works, and it's incredibly easy. To kick things off, we just go straight to this website here. So what is grabtap and how does it work? grabtap is simple. It's a website where you can log in, choose whatever game you want to play or whatever your community would like to play, complete the missions, and then you get gift cards. You can redeem the points for gift cards. It's literally as simple as that, and it is just a brilliant way for creators to not only earn on the games that they could already be playing, but also to earn from your community as they play the games for you or with you. So as you can see, this is as simple as it gets. You'll log in, you'll choose a game, you'll see the missions for that game, and then you will be able to do those and earn the point that you can redeem to gift cards. And of course, if you are a viewer rather than a creator, you can redeem to support a creator following this. So let's get stuck into it. So as you can see, it's literally just grabtap.com, grabtap.com, and you'll click this lovely button here that says Start Now. That will open up multiple different login or sign up options that you want to take. I signed up with Twitch because why wouldn't I? So I'm going to take that one right here. So here we are, this is my screen. I'm currently signed in and it tells me the games that I can pick up and play here. From what you can see, I can also join another community using this button if there's somebody else's community that I want to be a part of. But this is me right now. These are the games that I currently have on offer that I'm able to earn from. Now let's say that we want to play Star Trek Fleet Command. We would click on this and then we would install the game onto either the device that we're currently using or into our mobile, for example. It says here what the options are. You can play it on PC, you can play it on Apple, you can play it on Android. And these are the total points that you can earn for this game. And that is a massive amount, by the way, guys. As you scroll down, you'll see the missions and what you need to do to be able to get those points. It's incredibly easy. It tells you exactly what you need to do, but also you get bonus points for any kind of money that you spend in the game. So not only are you getting what you need from the game, but you're also getting points. Incredibly good. And it'll also tell you the requirements on this right hand side. Biggest one is usually that you must not have a VPN on, because it needs to be able to track on the devices, and you should not switch devices whilst you are playing. And then once you've played these missions and you have got your points, you can go to the rewards menu and claim your rewards. Now, if we had a look at Star Trek Fleet Command, that was over 200,000 points that you could get from playing that. And look at that, $50 gift card for 50,000 points. You can get plenty of those, and it is pretty amazing. You can see all the different options that you've got, from Twitch, Just Eat, to Amazon, to debit cards and everything like that. A brilliant way for you to earn whilst you game, as well as being able to get yourself some gift cards and your community being able to support you. Now you can head to your dashboard up in this top right hand corner, and this will tell you what you've earned from your community. Of course, I've signed in just now. I haven't used it just yet. Looking forward to doing so. But you can see some of the different games that they've had in the past down this list. It's really, really useful. And as I say, it's not just about a creator like me. You can swap back to player mode, and it's all about what you play and what you earn from the games that you have the options to have a go at. For example, I was already thinking of playing Marvel Strike Force, so I could have a look at that and earn myself 154,000 points. Pretty huge for me to then be able to go and redeem a gift card from. This website is incredibly easy to use. As I've shown you, you literally just sign in from one of the multiple options that you've got, and then you just head to the game screen as normal, pick whatever game you want to play, and once you pick that game up, you can see it in your missions menu for the game that you will be playing. So that's it, guys. It's as quick and as simple of a rundown as I can give you, because it's a very simple website to use and a very simple way for you to earn money, not only for yourself, but for your community as well. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you back on the games. Welcome back, trainers. We have the matchup of the day. Los Caracados are going to be taking on No Follow up next.
Right, this is going to be an interesting one here. Once again, reminder to all of you, this is going to be a best of 5. It's going to be a long one for all of you, and so I'm excited to see how it is. I am now sporting a hat that is representative of every bottom lane ever, an Eevee and a Snorlax.
Yep, facts, buddy. Representing Pokemon Unite on the head as well as on the mic. Here we go. Let's see what these bans are going to be from these teams. They know Empoleon is accessible. They know Mega Lucario is playable.
Yeah, there is going to be a big problem going to that here. We first see the lineups here. While Mega Lucario is available, it looks like it might actually get picked up very early on here because Suicune's banned out early, Hoopa's banned out early. We have 2 more left. And I've got a feeling that there's a Buzzwole in there somewhere.
There's a Buzzwole somewhere. You just got to find them. Let's see what Jose is going to ban out here for Los Caracados as well. Pawmot coming onto the field. Surely that means Empoleon has to be banned out here by Potato. Will they go for it though? By the way, look at that team for No Follow. What a stacked team they have.
Right, so there it is, the last one here. Leafeon finally following through, and there is it. And we're going to be starting off with our first pickup. Of course, it's Sableye, because why would you not start anything else? Absolute lie, of course.
The scenes, if that was the case, mate. But no, they're shaking it through, looking for the defender, I would expect first. But it is going to be the Buzzwole. Why would it not be Leo locking that in for Los Caracados?
Well, somewhere, and we figured out where. Now, next up, we're going to see the double pickup here. Chisto Marv is going to follow up with... Why do people like Crustle? Like, what is Crustle's appeal? I do not get it. I will never get it. And I'm so glad that that's not the case here. We're going to... Okay, we're working with it. We're working with it. We've got a Mew, we've got a Eldegoss. It's a nice clean start.
Bro, you're getting baited. That's what it is. I mean, the Crystal, it's all about the combos that you can get with it. The Rock Tomb is so good for shutting escapes off, but also stun. Then you've got the X-Scissor that does a decent amount of damage. It can take a lot of damage, and Rubble Rouser basically gives it a second life, mate. So I think that's why people love it so much right now, and Rops has locked it in for Los Caracados.
Right. Raichu is a strong Pokemon to say the least here, especially in a comp that you want to go in. I still haven't seen the last 2 here though, so could still be a little bit of a weird pickup across the board. Electro Ball is nice to set the field, but I don't think it's really a lot to do it. But now that you've got the bear out, whichever bear you go to, you've got a minefield that you gotta walk against.
So much furry Pokemon on the side of No Follow. Christo is going to bring out the Urshifu, who, by the way, is very good on that Water Bear. They do have that full heal slot. I suspect them to go for that. Marv, an incredible player on the Mamoswine anyway, so that's going to be even more shutdown power for Los Caracados. What are they going to round out their comp with? More ranged attack with the heals is the plan. Jose locks in the Decidueye. Ayami-chan's going to go for the Clefable, which will be great for keeping up Leo, and you just want a good partner for that all-rounder.
Yeah, I like the kind of follow-up that they have here. It is a range attacker, but they need some level of secure. I don't really see that coming in for the Alolan Raichu's Electro Ball. I don't really see that coming from Buzzwole.
Yeah, that's what Spirit Shackle is going to be on the field for, buddy. But Potato, Potato has gone for the Garchomp straight out of the gates here for No Follow. They've got the Water Bear Urshifu, which is going to be so good at putting pressure onto the side of Los Caracados, especially on Jose and Bertolo. And then you've got Potato, who is happy to brawl against Leo and Ayami-chan all day long in this game.
Right, so moving into this here, I really want to say I like No Follow's comp. To be fair, I'm not really a believer of Garchomp. But then there's Alolan Raichu's with the Electro Balls. I kind of feel Los Caracados is going to be a lot better. Yes, got it.
You smashed it, mate. Well done. I can hear you trying to get it right. I mean, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I think I am.
Wait, I've been following you.
I know, exactly. But this is game 1 of our second best of 5. Los Caracados are taking the purple side here. No Follow going for the orange side. And luckily, buddy, they're not leaving that Urshifu in the jungle by itself.
Oh, thank goodness here. And of course, the Ghost Files as EXP share here, which really helps on getting in a little bit more EXP. Moving forward though, it's gonna be a little bit tough. We're gonna see this Clefable, this little baby taking so much damage going to it here, but at least that means that we have a boss who is happily just farming away. Moving that though, one lone bird stuck in the wall, and there it is. That's the boost auto to finish it off here, and a Gibble as well, another baby who's taking so much damage.
The thing is about Gibble is it is a baby and it's adorable, but it does pack a punch. And No Follow does manage to get away from the arms of Buzzwole at the moment, but it's all about what you can capitalize on at these 850s. Right now, though, the oppression from Los Caracados is a lot in the top lane. Bottom lane, they're struggling a little bit against the Swinub and the Mew. There goes Christo, trying to take those Electro Balls away so that all this farm doesn't go straight to the side of Los Caracados, and they do manage to get a little bit from it and get the evolution onto Eldegoss.
Alright, now moving into this though, we're gonna see a great big deal of difference because we have the bear who's just so prominent into the central area here. There's a little Raichu who's gonna be a little bit stuck at the back because once this bear comes through, lots of damage coming through. Already chasing him down there. We do see on the other side though, there's gonna be a little bit of assistance from this Rowlet, but again, we now have a Bug. And this little cotton ball, well, unfortunately, is taking a massive beating here. The bear runs in, tries to make some headway with his team, and unfortunately for them, it looks like there's not really much they can do if they're gonna pull back here. A pullback from the side into Gabai and the Clefable, and he pick another one for themselves for the bear. And there it is. Urshifu is gonna get a nice clean pickup for the side here, and there we have at least a nice trade from both teams.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, trading and trading and trading until somebody gets the upper hand. Right now, Los Caracados have a couple more points in. The KO is going to come through onto the side of the Crust, although a No Follow are looking to respond. A brilliant grab there with the Ice Fangs, and they find the KO onto Jose. Now they want to see if they can capitalize on more, taking the Clefable as well. A Yami-chan is sent packing. Here comes Christo. They're having to back up on Bertolo, and right now they're going to get a 30 dunk in. No Follow have managed to find a way to get themselves back in this game, but Crustle manages to find a KO as they overstayed a little bit too far on the side of Marv, but luckily the rest of No Follow gets out.
And already the damage is being dealt here. A nice swirl of beams going through and taking them so much damage through. You know, we talked about Imar just now and like how much he has the Draco meter stacks. That beam alone hit 4. Fantastic.
Here comes the first objective though, buddy, and it is pretty even in the bottom lane about who wants to go for it. They have left Potato in the top lane uncontested on a Garchomp. Probably not a good shout, but in the middle of it was Rops looking to see if they can get people with the X-Scissor, but look at this dive from No Follow, utilizing the Surf from Zante, while the rip comes through from Christo onto the Red Jalecki. That is how you zone out an opponent and lock in an objective. They take it here with Zante finding a double KO.
Right, and they move into that here, and of course, with that being said, they have so much pressure going into the bot lane here that I think they might just actually force the invade here. Level 10, level 8, and it's a Water Bear, right? That means he also has a lot of sustain moving into this, but the boss was there. It's gonna be a little scary. Piloswine taking so much beating going into that here. They do manage to pick up the buff at the cost of a level 8. I don't think it's that bad, actually.
No, I love that plan from No Follow. Just let Marv pull the attention and get KO'd so that Christo can get that buff and get themselves out of the central area. Look at Los Caracados chasing them down right now. But Christo gets back into their own central area. Potato rotates down. Potato has been left to become level 11 on this Garchomp. They do run straight into the arms of Leo right now, but there we go. Dragon Queen's going to come on through, and Buddy
Ariel.
the living outrage time to come through. Thunderstorm Ariel's going to go through. They do find the KO though onto the side of the Garchomp, and with that Marv is going to take down the Buzzwole, but it was so close. Christo's going to get out on 1 HP in a dream. Los Caracados have managed to defend that push and find some good KOs.
Now, of course, there is a big problem here that I see. I didn't mention this at the start, but Clefable becomes a really big problem when he has gravity on as well, right? What's the bird going to... Sorry, what's the bear going to do? I keep calling it a bird, as, you know, soars so fast across the map here. But Garchomp as well, what is it gonna do, right? It really can't do much to move around with its moves. It's gonna get hit by gravity. It's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah, gravity is a great shout.
Actually, the whole team just can't really do much now, can it?
I was gonna say there's so many dashes here that like it's gonna be so good at locking down no follow, and it already has been so far. We do see Spirit Shackle coming through here, manages to connect, but they do get the Cotton Cloud Crash off, and with the power of the Raging Fist, they manage to find the KO onto the side of Leo. And Cristo here in the middle of the fight between Los Catacados. There's the Gravity, knows they can't take that approach, trying to see if they could pull the Crystal, but Rubble Rouser says no. Rox is in the middle of it now, manages to pick up 2 of them with the X Scissor. They are going to get KO'd, but can they capitalize on it? Thunderstorm Aerial comes through. They find one. No, they don't. They're still up on the field. Los Catacados are going down one by one on the back of Zante, and they manage to find the important KOs.
Well, they're not really following it up with this though, true to their namesake. They're gonna fall back here into the Reggie Lecky and see if they can pick themselves up for something. Garchomp, top side here from No Follow, also following it on suit here. Might be a double Reggie pickup, and this is gonna be fantastic for No Follow, whose levels are already pushing so high up. There's the Reggie Ice pickup here. No one to really contest against it. The Buzzle's just a little bit too late against Garchomp.
Oh boy, right now it feels like No Follow have control of this game. Fire Sky Ruins is under their domain right now, buddy. We do have some experience on the side of Los Catacados that they're trying to lock in. They're going to defend this Regieleki, but look at where No Follow is. There is nothing for them to do. They've taken all their experience, so they are looking for it from the side of Los Catacados. They're looking for some good picks. They're looking for the approach here. Leo is going to get themselves onto the side of Potato, uses the Ultra Soul Slam to find that KO. In response, they take out Cristo as well. This may have been a little bit too folly for No Follow as they tried to find an ambush onto Los Catacados, but it bites them back.
And already they're just trying to find some way to stop them. A nice Cotton Cloud Crash to return the favor here, followed by the Spore. And unfortunately for them, it's just going to be a nice pickup to clean up the little Cotton Ball. It's a 4v1 situation. Did well to try and stop the scoring as best they could, but felt like that was a little bit of a given. They do have to kind of get their Unite move back up though, and that's a problem now. Although we do see the bottom fight here, Spirit Shackle to connect into the Mammal Swine here, and he's looking a little bit lost here. No Follow returning the favor and giving them a little pat on the back from the side as they lose the Mammal Swine here. But hey, thankfully it's only a level 11 here. Los Catacados has a great start moving into this. They have 33 seconds on the clock here, and they still have some farm to work with.
That is the power of gravity that we just witnessed, but Ayami-chan locking down the escape for Marv and finding that KO. So we have 20 seconds before Groudon takes to the field. They got some great experience from those couple of fights, did Los Catacados. They've now got level 14s on the field. They've got plenty of 13s as well. No Follow haven't hit 14 on any of their Pokemon that have been dominating just yet. What can they do to try and hold out against the damage that Los Catacados has been bringing?
Yeah, and now Groudon is into the field here. We're gonna see how they approach this fight, because when Groudon is on, the gate is on indeed. Rubble Rouser to start us off here, and again, Mammal Swine has to go with a Math Mash, try to see if he can pick up here. Garchomp going in with the limit outrage, dish damage, and we do see the Raging Fist come in here. Mystical Barrage and Nodal is also committing on the side of Los Catacados, who's slowly dishing damage out, and bit by bit, they're chipping them out. They could actually clean this out with a nice Spirit Shackle, but unfortunately, no one is there to help the team here. And this Lone Bird, well, the knock-knock joke is that there's no one else there.
Bro, too much sustain from No Follow proves to be the downfall of Los Catacados here in game 1. They had the picks, they found the KO, but unfortunately Leo was bounced around like a ping pong ball, and then they just had to get onto the flank there, onto the side of Jose. They find the KOs as Zante gets into the central area, and No Follow takes down Los Catacados one at a time with one ace. Now they're looking for the second. Jose having to go back to that home pad. And now they rein in points galore as No Follow are going to stuff themselves on Hundo Burgers.
And this is going to be a tough one to say the least here. 15 seconds on the clock. And there's not a lot of levels that are flowing to the Los Catacados side here, which means the damage is also not kind of picking them up. They do get a Mammal Swine here, but from then on, how are you kind of like bringing back the points in your favor? You see this Garchomp, we just dropped at 19. That's 740. It's a bit tough.
It is a bit tough, buddy. It's definitely a difficult stand for them to be in right now, and they've taken game 1 here on the side of No Follow. There's not enough points on the field for them to be able to get this back on the side of Los Catacados. What a brilliant effort from them in that final battle, buddy, and I feel like they've got to bounce back big time here of Los Catacados. We've seen how good it is to get that momentum in the early stages. We've just witnessed it from Los Duros. No Follow have been dominant in this game.
It's gonna be a tough one. Again, Los Catacados, unfortunately, dropping the first game moving into this. No follow, showing a great showing here, and right now, 1 point to them. The traffic light is starting up. We're gonna see if they can follow it up here in Unite Fight Club, because they've still got 2 more games they need to pick themselves up here before we move on right here. Tano, no follow, still has my vote though. They did follow me. It's like they say no follow, but looking at the score leads here, it definitely looks like, if you're not sure how to look at the numbers here, right? The battle data says that obviously one team is better than the other, but when I'm looking at the numbers in general, it looks quite similar actually, right? And so Los Catacados might actually have a say in how the match can go.
I think they can. I definitely think they've got a way to bounce back in this as we look. Look, no follow gets every objective after that first Reggie Drago. That just gives you even more advantage, buddy. It's non-stop for them, but they did manage to at least try and keep it close until the final few moments. It's just the fact that right now, as you can see it, they are in that top lane is Potato, completely uncontested. They've been allowed to get whatever stacks they want. They hit this level 11. Los Catacados, they don't even have a level 11. And now we're seeing Potato come down and find some good KOs. They do manage to shut them down here, which is absolutely massive for them. But they've already lost those early stages of the game. We've got 183 points there for no follow. And this is where they really start to capitalize on Los Catacados.
Already, you can see how in this fight here, there's a complete difference moving into it. 5 players in the side here. They had to fight against a Rubber Rouser, Axes moving Crossel, but the entire team is just kind of stopped because of one mystical barrage. So I think that's a really fun code I like to use here. If the entire organization cannot function off the fact that one player is missing, then maybe it's not the player's fault, right? The team itself has to kind of figure out how they want to play around it. I feel like Crossel is definitely out of place there, but at the same time, maybe your team could follow it with Crossel.
Yeah, I just think Zante was so good on that Mew. The surfs were on point. The lock-ins with the beams and the Electro Balls. At peak Mew. We've seen some brilliant Mews here in the Unite Fight Club, and Zante's continuing that progression with this. But this is the brilliant moment. Look at the flank that Zante managed to pop off. As soon as Knock Knock was pulled out by Jose, Zante was hunting for them, and they come back with the flank, utilizing that and finding the KO. No follow are going to get game 1 pretty much uncontested after the mid game.
And you can definitely see how that continues to push forward here with that 700 points here, and later on 740 because of the Garchomp, and how they just completely took another fight here, and they're just like, there's nothing they can do. It's a rough game, to say the least. However, again, this is only game 1 in our Fearless Draft, and if you haven't forgotten yet, or if you did, don't worry, I'll refresh you. You can't pick up the Pokemon you just played for the rest of the game. This best of 5 set is going to run down 20 Pokemon, and at some point, that composition are going to falter here. No follow has to be ready to commit to playing Pokemon they might not be very comfortable with. So there might be a chance here to turn this around to the side of Los Catacados.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the benefit that their team has some of the best players here in the EU region, but that game one, buddy, they were on very comfortable Pokemon. Like, if you look at their most played, all of those Pokemon are going to be up there on each of those players. So every single Pokemon that they've picked up is some of their most played and some of their favorite to play. So they were getting comfortable for game 1, and I like that approach from No Follow. Just come straight out with things that you are comfortable on, but other teams aren't really using. We've only seen Garchomp today. We don't see it much in the Unite Fight Club. We do see some Urshifu, but there's not many people that are playing these Pokemon, and I like that approach from No Follow. So let's see what they're going to do in response on the side of Los Catacados.
And already, let's take a look at that moving into it here, which I would like to see the pick bands moving into this, because there are a few Pokemon that I think that you can really lock out right now, right? Because already Los Catacados lost a really strong attack type Pokemon here. We're going to see a Lord Raichu locked out here, but I think Buzzwole has been a real pain moving into this here, and I would like to see them actually ban it out. Right, so already early we do see Suicune get banned, Buzzwole get banned, Leafeon get banned. Pretty standard bans.
And that they are, no surprise. I mean, Leafeon, first time we've seen Leafeon today in regards to bans, but this means Empoleon is pick-upable by No Follow here if they want to continue with that momentum, and they have some brilliant all-rounder players on their team.
Hey, Tano, there is also Blaziken. We did not see that in the last game, but I have a feeling that this chicken is ready to brawl. Hey, there it is.
Rightly so. No, instead, Gmedu's
Never
going to
mind.
take Jinmig is going to take the Blissey, but this is it. When you usually go for either the Blissey or the Hooper. If you can't get either of those, you're going to pull out the Eldegoss or you're going to pull out the Clefable. Eldegoss has already been used, Hooper is banned, Blissey is going to be the only call for no follow.
Come on, just pick something up that I call on like the first try. Guys.
I think you're right on the Blaziken though. I do think they're going to pick that up.
Alright, let's take a look here. Marv is going to be your everyday defender. So we're going to see if this hero is going to lock into Snorlax here. Or we're going to see a Crustle back into the fray. Please don't. I would love to not see another Crustle. Let's move into that. Zante hovering over the Alolan Raichu. Absolute great call. Especially since Lost Caracaras did use it. So now they kind of just pull it back. But again, just pick anything else that I say otherwise, you know. It's all good. All good, guys.
Zante's going to lock in the Inteleon. That is going to be brilliant. We don't see a great deal of Inteleon now, but some of these players that pick it up, Rezu, for example, comes to mind. Zante is brilliant on this Pokemon, so I cannot wait to see how Lost Caracaras are going to try and answer that. Can you get onto them? Will we see some speedster play coming out here?
Kind of feeling the Mimikyu here if you're going to see a Inteleon, but they're going to lock into Aegislash, which I got to give it to them. This is a good call. Interesting call, rather. On the other side, though, we still have yet to see a Speedster and All-Rounder, and it looks like they've got their picks going into this year. They're hovering around the Talonflame, the Absol, we have a Mega Lucario Blaziken, we have Zacian. I still feel like there's a Blaziken in there somewhere. It definitely feels correct. There's Blaziken coming into it. Now, Lost Caracaras is a problem, and is that they don't really have a really strong backline / wall. They have to choose one or the other.
Yeah, I don't think they have anything to deal with Christo on the Absol here. I absolutely love that he's pulled out the Absol. Knows it's my favorite Pokemon, and it is a brilliant pickup here. So this is interesting. Jose's going to pull out the Greninja. It's all about that matchup right now because I don't see them having anything to contest Christo. Maybe a little bit on the side of the Umbreon, but even so, those crits that come through from Absol, especially in the mid to late game, can really deal with an Umbreon. It's probably Leo that's going to be the issue for them.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that Greninja is actually the pick that could save them here. At the end of the day, right, you have to kind of look at the double team as another form of a body blocker, and it kind of just sits down there pretty. Like, Greninja doesn't have to commit, right? That technically they have like another 2 players in their team they can work around with, that slowly dish damage, they don't have to force another fight if need be. I like how this is going. I think Nofolo has a little bit of a hill to climb when it comes to the composition here, but we've seen how they play, and I think that could really just make up for it.
Yeah, I 100% with you, but I am actually very much enjoying how much Greninja is getting played in the meta at the moment. I love Greninja. But here we go. This is going to be game 2 in this best of 5. No follow took that first one there here on your purple side. Lost Caracaras trying to get one back here on your orange side.
Yeah, and then we're going to the other side though. We're gonna see a start contrast. No follow, starting it off early to see if they can take a few hits onto that. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they picked themselves up for the Bundle B, and it's gonna go on to... Oh no, rather Zante actually. There's so much extra going into that.
They do manage to get the red buff onto the side of Ayami-chan as well. That's going to be very important in this early stages in the top game if they can try and limit this Torchic as we see them go on with their own edge, nearly managing to cut them down, but the healing is there, buddy. All of this experience is going to go to Lost Caracaras. If they can find some early evolutions onto their Pokemon here, they could really limit this Blaziken.
And already we're seeing the Absol back up and trying to make some headways here. Jose taking so much damage off him here, but of course the sword is a little bit tough on them. You know, Scalpel to a frog, you gotta get a dissection out of it, and now the egg is next here. It looks like we're getting some sunny side up for the side of Lost Caracaras.
That we are, 41 points in and true against the 6 for no follow. So plenty of stacks for Lost Caracaras so far. Looking for those extra levels, but Christo has gone to rip through them down here. Not a lot that Mav can do to stop Rops getting that in. And now we do have Umbreon on the field. Are they going to go for Meanlook? Are they going to go for the Snarl? Let's see. There goes the Electro Ball coming through from Vitalo. And it does look like it's the foul play, sorry, that they are pulling on out, pulling back Mav. But they're going to get back to the pad anyway.
Oh, I'm glad you corrected yourself there, because I was going to follow you and say star all the way, completely not realizing the mistake there. But as we go into that, we are seeing a great opportunity coming in for the side of Los Caracados to actually just pick EXP. Their top lane has been so phenomenal in this match here that it kind of feels like this is just not them, man. Like, No Follow had a lot better of a game that first round here. Already, we're seeing Leo onto the Eagle Slash here, who's going to be responding with his team to just kind of defend them from going down that. But we do see Eldegoss going in with Mew as well to take them down. Absol going top side here does not actually trying to respond into the Red Dragon here, which means bottom is free for the taking for Jose.
That it is. They're going to find the KO onto Marv. It is going to be Surf coming out from the Ninja for those executes, buddy. I love that. It's going to be a good shout, but it's all about Cristo. They can't be in both lanes at the same time, so they go up to the top lane. They do get some good punishment, allows Blaziken to get more stacks and has them on the field. So I do like what they've got out of the back of that.
Already getting a good early game going into this here. The beam does connect. Not too much damage, thankfully. But across the board, they kind of just don't have a way to go in at the moment. They have to wait a little bit for the Reggie spot and maybe a buff to help them in. Water Sugar connecting so early on. You gotta give it to them. I haven't seen a level 9 so fast in so long. And the double surf as well to clean house. Holy.
Oh, Jose going for the surf and turf here, but he manages to find some good KOs, utilizing that surf execute, sending them back to Nurse Joy and going for the rip on the Regieleki. Los Caracados are left in this bottom lane uncontested, while No Follow goes for the Regirock and gets a 40 dunk in. So they're managing to keep the levels here in regards to the points. They've managed to keep the levels as well, as we've now got Blaziken at level 10, not too far from it with Cristo now having their Unite move ready to go as well.
I gotta be honest with you here, the one issue I see coming from Los Caracados is that they're fighting against a Snorlax who's gonna likely pick up block, right? And so, how are you gonna surf past that? Your whole team is kind of like very divey. You have Eagle Slash as well, very close range fighter. It's not a lot to work with, and your Blaziken is going to be very happy with that, right? He just goes in, look at the damage he's already doing here. The sub, the spin, the Midnight Slash, the Mystical Barrage here, as we do see Heavy Stack connecting. And in the end of the day, it looks like there is a very clear victor in terms of the levels and numbers here. Snipe Shot connecting into Umbreon here, the coup de grace, unfortunately not connecting itself. We do see the Azure Sniper coming into the fray here, trying to see if we can get anything with Spy Vision. Hitting for one though, unfortunately not enough. And now all that's left is one Mew to his name, who can't even defend this.
Oh, Bubble07 reported for duty, buddy, and No Follow have locked it in. They've now got the points leads. They've got the KOs they were looking for. Very wary of Jose getting close to them, but Los Caracados, they need to find a little bit extra to try and find these KOs. Trying to dive on in with the Aegis Slash onto Cristo was a great shout, but when you are zoned out, it was difficult when they just capitalize on getting around you. I do also like Rops locking in the Snarl foul play build here for that Umbreon, because it's so good at disruption, and that's what they need to continue to do to Cristo as well onto the side of Zante.
And already we're seeing the biggest problem, right? Like, I've already established that a lot of them are so close range here, Blaziken gets so much out of it. And you can see how that's a problem. I mean, Snipe Shot doesn't need to aim, technically, right? Because everyone's so clumped up, you're probably gonna hit something, and you're happy that you're hitting something anyways. It's Intelligon on Snipe Shot. It's gonna be tough for you to actually aim. A good player will be able to hit all his shots here, but hey, you made our job a lot easier by clumping up.
Rightly so, going to dive on in here as well, ready to go with the moves on Los Caracados. Jose's looking for him with the surfs resets, manages to find one. Midnight Slash is going to come back in reserve though, and they take out Aegis Slash. Leo is sent packing before they use the coup de grace. Here's the disruption from the Snarl onto the side of Rops, trying to see if they can take the damage away on the Azure Spy Vision. Then it has worked for the moment. There's the Moonlight Prance. What a brilliant effort from that defender. They do find the KO, but Jose is going to fall, and Reggie Steele is taken by No Follow. So we are seeing some great moments here by Los Caracados, Nitera, but the difficulty is they can't capitalize on them enough because No Follow respond instantly.
And it's gonna be tough. I mean, it 100% feels tough. And when your entire combo is kind of like, let's go in as a team, yeah, obviously the side of No Follow is gonna have a lot easier time to kind of respond because you're so close to them anyways. Already we're seeing a very big problem after that here, and that's how they capitalize over the entire team fight, which is that now No Follow is gonna be able to take down the Regieleki straight forward out into the Regidrago here, which is gonna be a big problem. They need levels on their side here, and while they are mounting it, they already have 2 level 13s on No Follow here on crucial Pokemon.
Nah, they do. This is a scary team to go up against. Jose goes very weak. I mean, the benefit is that when you are that weak on the side of a Greninja, you do a lot more damage, buddy. But also, it only takes one swing to send you back to Nurse Joy. So they are going to reset and defend that Regieleki. No follow here, getting a little bit cheeky with it, looking to see if they can take away more experience from Los Caracados. And they do exactly that, taking it the instant it spawns.
Yeah, gotta love how they're playing it out here. They're not looking like my KD when I play Inteleon. Definitely doing a lot better than that. As they do see, though, it's gonna be a little bit of a tough fight in the 3-minute mark here. They've got a minute to kind of keep themselves back into the game. They need some level 13 to Los Caracados as they do try and find some hitways here. A miss surf, unfortunately, here might lose out into Jose. There it is. Absol just picking it up, the little pickings of the frog, and now the heavy slam to connect into the Umbreon here. 2 damage into that here. We might see a loose sword and a loose cat moving into that. Snorlax going down for the first one here from the Eagle Slash, pushing it forward. Unfortunately, it looks like Absol has taken a beating on that. And of course, the Blaziken onto the Umbreon, which right now means we have 3 KOs on the side of no follow here, and Los Caracados still working with like 0.
Yeah, I mean, all they got was Marv, and to be fair, Marv did what they needed to do. They pulled up the surf from Jose, and that was just a matter of diving straight back onto them and get no follow to lock in the secures, mate. So now they've got a level 14 Inteleon on the side of Zante. Cristo has hit level 13 on that Absol, and so is Potato on the Blaziken. Even more on the field now as Groudon takes to Faya Sky Ruins. What can Los Caracados do to get themselves back into it when there is a Groudon? There's definitely a way, but Midnight Slash is going to come out now, and they're going to find the KO onto Jose, and here's the damage from Zante. The Spur by Vision is pulled on out. Ayami-chan is then packing. Bertolo has to run here as Zante looks to shut them down. The snipe shot doesn't connect yet, but they've wiped out the rest of Los Caracados.
And already we're seeing a big problem here moving forward, and that's the fact that no follow is once again in the forefront of this fight. Getting the ground up for themselves here, they're going to just steamroll their way back into this one. Los Caracados is in a bit of a spot. No way to really defend this. They have 5 players at the top right now that they don't even know. And a nice bait and switch from them. Just didn't want to like go in the pet immediately here. They already take 1 down from Jose here. And next to the Umbreon. And again, the sword is down as well. Down as ever here. The Mystical Barrage is popped. And unfortunately for them, I don't really feel like they have a way out of this. They do have 1 minute on the clock though. And so it's not too late yet, Tano.
No, it isn't. And there's, you know, what, 500 points, 600 points now. We might be getting to the stage where it's unattainable, to be honest with you, buddy. There's only 5 Pokemon on one team. That's 500 points if you all get 50. But they're going to have to find some Groudon buffs if they want to win these team fights. They haven't got any yet. I think no follow is going to be able to get themselves game 2 here in this best of 5.
Hey, I've mentioned, Tano, that there's a reason why I'm sitting at a caster's desk here. I can't count for nuts here. I believe there's a way in 30 seconds for them to actually make a win here. Jose getting the first of many here, having the buff for himself here, losing it out, unfortunately, as I speak my words. And now, we're going to lose one more Pokemon here, and Umbreon is left to see if he can take out against maybe the Blissey here, which is looking a little bleak.
Well, that's all she wrote as they get a 1,000 Island dressing game on the field, buddy. They've got over that 1,000 points. Los Caracados now, they need to bounce back big time. We are now back in a situation where you have to win back-to-back-to-back games if you want to take this set. All No Follow has to do is win 1 more game.
Trafficlight's looking a lot more colorful, I would say. Kind of needs to slow down. The yellow side usually means, you know, take a breather. We're going to red. Right now, that's the issue though. It's going full yellow across the side here from No Follow, who has picked up himself for another game win, which means that we are going down to match point here. No Follow looking really strong after that. Though I had to give respects to Jose here, who I think is my MVP for this match, because really, how many Greninjas have you seen in your entire life? I haven't seen that many.
Yeah, Jose was very impressive.
With Surf, mind you.
Yeah, very impressive on that Greninja. I'll give you that 100%, buddy. I very much enjoyed that from Jose. But No Follow, again, Zante was just uncontested at that range. Cristo was jumping in and out, up and down, wherever on Faya Sky Ruins and causing issues left, right, and center. And Potato way too difficult to take down. So No Follow, they just had too much to be able to swarm around Los Caracados.
And you can see from here, they have too much to swap around. You're absolutely right. The connect into the Umbreon here for the snipe shot, the coup de grace, and it gets pushed in by Blaziken. This Inga Slash was just nowhere found afterwards. And again, you can see how they respond so quickly, like you mentioned here. They connect the Midnight Slash, they got one, they move in, and they're just slowly taking a whole beating down just to stop them. That's the problem with a lot of Pokemon that has a lot of reset moves nowadays. Jose is not a bad player, but if you miss one serve, like how are you gonna like tell your team like, hey guys, I lost like the highest damage potential move in the entire kit, you know? You guys can give me a moment? Right? It's really tough.
It's on cooldown. Give me 8 seconds.
just a few seconds. Yeah, which is why I really respect like players who play Gardevoir with Future Sight. I respect Surf players. There are a few other Pokemon they can name, but they're not on top of my head at the moment. But this is why it really comes down to how do you play around these kind of really strong Pokemon with so little margin of error.
Like Fly on Talonflame has a 9-second cooldown. Like,
yeah, but at least Fly will hit.
It needs to be because it's ridiculously strong. I mean, will it though? Not everybody hits with Fly.
It's a lot easier to hit than Surf. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Surf is definitely going to get hits compared to, I would say, like Fly. I would think, right? Because Fly's a little slow. But Surf needs to get resets in order to be good, whereas Fly just gives you the bulk damage. And so, you know, that is a big respect coming from Jose here to be playing a Pokemon like that. And actually getting a few resets off on screen as well. I mean, you gotta give it to him. He knew when to go in, he knew how to capitalize on it, and there's that.
Yeah, it was a great effort from Jose. But right 100%. Now, they got to bounce back big time, buddy, because no follow, they are a team to be reckoned with, and any advantage they can find, they are capitalizing on in these games so far. We need to have a little bit more adjustment here from Los Caricados. They have to win every game here on out if they want to win this set, and the very least, they're going to want to bring this to a game 5, buddy. They don't want to go down with a 3-0 loss here. They're a strong team, Los Caricados, one of the strongest here in the Unite Fight Club. This is the first time we've seen no follow in the Unite Fight Club. What a statement they are making.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta give it to them. They called the right people. In fact, I'm kind of surprised, you know, that they followed me before this. And I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but it's a bit concerning that they knew that, you know, maybe we're casting today. You know?
Yeah, bro. They know game. Like
they've done their homework. And so I gotta give, maybe they've done their homework here as well. They know what Los Caricados can actually bring to the table, and they're just trying to like, you know, wrap their head around that. So that could be a concern.
Go, respect, go. That's what it is, mate. That's why they dropped you the follow. So, going into this game, we have our bans. It's going to be the Buzzwole, it's going to be the Alolan Raichu. We're going to say goodbye to the Leafeon and the Snorlax here by no follow. Are they going to see some more speedster action? We haven't seen that much. No follow's the first ones to be using it here today.
Right. And again, it is going to be a massive, massive problem here. Suicune is definitely a high pickup. For sure, moving into this. Here's the thing. I love Trevenant here, and the fact that they have Hoopa on the other side kind of makes Trevenant so good, right? Because imagine they do Rings Unbound, and they all jump into the Phantom Forest, and all of a sudden they're taking like 20% extra damage for no reason.
Yeah, that would be a very good shout. And I just realized that we actually saw some Dodrio in the first set, mate, so I lied. But anyway, looking at the pickups, we do have a great crowd control from No Follow straight out of the gates, buddy. What are Los Caricados going to do to lock it in? Bertolo is going to pull out the Inteleon here, trying to match what Zante was doing. Rops is going to bring out the Blastoise as well. Are we going to see the Cypher? Cristo is very dangerous on that Cypher, and that is going to be a difficult game for Bertolo to handle. Yes, they do.
You non-believer, Tano. Oh, you naive guy. It's not a Scyther, it's Scizor. You know, see the Razor Claw there? Technically, it's supposed to be Big Root.
It's meant to be the Big Root. That's meant to be the Scizor build. Bro, I am betting a full pack of Jammy Dodgers that's a Cypher.
I'd be willing to bet, but I only got 3 packs, so we're not gonna waste that. Moving into that, Zante holding on to the mage Pokemons here. We do see a Cramorant here. Oh god, Magical will be so in love. But unfortunately, it looks like the soft into Venusaur here is going to be the final pickup.
That it is. Jose has got the Talonflame, and I am loving the pick on the Metagross from Leo here. Alrighty, buddy, what a comp we have set up. I feel like Los Caracados have a way to get themselves this win. It's all about what they can do to try and limit what Cristo is going to bring on the side of that Cypher. They've really got to protect Bertolo in this game.
Right, so as we move into that here, let's take a look at how this matchup could really play out. In my mind here, again, NoFollow is definitely the team to beat in terms of this match. I mean, there's only two teams, right? Obviously, one is the team to beat, one is not, right? So a lot riding onto Los Caracados to try to win from against NoFollow. NoFollow still has my heart in this. We might see a 3-0 here today, but Tano, I do believe you're looking into the reverse here.
I mean, coming into this, I said behind the scenes chat that this was going to go all the way to a game 5. I'm very happy, but also very impressed with NoFollow being able to really dominate those first 2 games. This is all about what they can do here. This could be match point for NoFollow. Can Los Caracados respond, as they do have a little invade coming out from Hooper already?
And mind you, bot lane is really dominant when it comes to NoFollow here. They have the grass type advantage against the 2 water types here. And already we're seeing a massive damage going onto Marv here, who unfortunately has to proc his natural kill and might not actually make it out of this here. So much damage being dunked onto him. Just enough here. Unfortunately, Marv is going to walk away with that slither of HP.
I love that. Pull in the retreat at the right moment to just get yourself away. Yami-chan's trying to see what they can do to limit the Cypher, but it's not easy to stop this Cypher getting what they need. So much damage comes out from those first slashes. Yami-chan is going to go down. Now we see the rotation from Jose looking to see if they can pick it up. Acrobatics is brilliant for a first KO, but can they find it? Because Suicune is there, and no, they can't. Jean-Madu perfect with their response.
Oh, and there it is. Unfortunately, it looks like Leo is not going to be picking this up. At level 4 here, it's going to be a little bit rough for him, especially since, you know, you want to be as fast as possible with the Metagross here. I never like putting it into lane, and this is exactly why. Ivysaur now back onto the field here. We're going to see top side having so much damage to go onto the Scyther, and already the damage is being dished here. Hoopa out for the count. And they have so much priority going into this, they can still fight the Fetching if they want to.
I love Metal Claw on Zacian. I think it's so fun. It makes
Is it like that?
I mean, it's brilliant, mate. I love it. Potato gets a triple KO, buddy. They are very weak here, though. Trying to see if they can go up against this Bolton. They're going
close.
in. Can they find the cut? No, they're sent back. A brilliant stun coming out from a Yami-chan there as they managed to push them away. It could have been a very close one.
I love that spiel about I love Metal Claw. Does the thing, and then suddenly they're getting walloped. It's like, you know, can calm down. Moving into that, but Regidrago now onto the field here. We're gonna see how they respond into this here, as Jose is up and about. He's level 7 as well, so I do believe the fly or the brave bird is online.
Execute is here for the side of Cristo. They're going to be very comfortable trying to take on that Matang at the moment, trying to get the secure, but the rest of Los Caracados, oh, they don't manage to find it. They do manage to get the KO on the side of the Drizzle. Now they have an Inteleon on the field, but here comes Potato. Ready to clock. They walk into the snipe shot, and Jose drops the damage from above and finds the KO.
Already, there's just so much damage early on here. We're going to see another one come in. Brave Bird moving into that. Big damage moving across the board. As we do see, unfortunately, there she goes again. As Brave Bird is now down the count here. We're going to see a lot of problems on the bot lane as they lose Trevenant as well. Zante, last one standing, has to dish damage. And then unfortunately for them, not really have the range to make this work at the moment. There's no real way they can pick themselves up for their last KO there, and fortunately for them, Mortolo is out for the count. Moving into that though, top side here, we are going to be seeing one bird and a dream. Picking us out of the Zacian, it looks like we have an opportunity to go into the Regirock.
Bro, we got first objectives on the field and it's still 0-0 on the board. Donut stores are open all night long so far as both teams are looking for points. Regilecki getting ripped here, and it's going to be NoFollow that manages to get the damage onto it. The secure, and they still haven't managed to score any points just yet. The approach from Los Caracados in the top side, they find the Regirock. There's the Bird and Anger. They blow up the Blastoise, and NoFollow do get the first points in, and they continue to look to get stacks before they break this pad.
I'd like to note that it's not NoFollow getting the first set of points here. Regilecki is to be blamed for that. You know, gotta give some love to him. But in response to that, top side going in for a total of 100 points up right in the first goal zone here. You gotta see it, you gotta love it here. But in response, again, NoFollow bot side here. putting in another 13 for Trevor Zante, holding his position now, hoping to see he can find opportunities to join up with his team here, but it's looking kind of empty, he needs to farm up here. Jose, however, an opportunities all the same here, waiting for a fly in. You know, the brave bomber himself wants to get a pickup here, and unfortunately, no pickups.
It's just this combo, buddy, utilizing a Yami-chan with Jose, a brilliant combo of Hooper and Talonflame, the best with the Phantom Force capability. They have been pushed up against the wall here, though, by Marv. They do manage to get out. That is the power of the Phantom Force. There's the connect coming through on the first snipe shot. There's the Brave Bird, but they got hit by the Horn Leech, buddy, and a huge beam comes through from Zante to find the KOs as no follow push onto the T2 pad, and they're going to break it.
I don't know if the beams look like bombs or the bombs look like beams here, but that Burden Anger definitely did a lot of damage moving into that here. Great utilization here in the 5-minute mark moving into that here. Leo, 2v1 situation here. The Giant Ball does connect, compute, and crash to pick it out for 1, saving him just by a little bit here, and unfortunately punished because the entire team is here. That is really painful for no follow as well. I mean, that was a freebie, and somehow Leo managed to squeeze out a little bit more life in it.
Yeah, that was a brilliant effort by Leo. They find 2 really important KOs. Right now, we've got the objectives about to come on in. No follow, making it down to this bottom lane. So is Los Caracados trying to capitalize on this Lecky. You've got to do, because that home pad is open. And this will be a great push if they take it before the 4-minute mark. They don't just yet, though. There's a flame charge coming on through, trying to see if they can find them. The sweep does, and they're going to get the KOs on the side of no follow. Now they need to capitalize on the rest of it, though, as Spy Vision is here from the Inteleon. They haven't got Jean-Midu yet as they continue to run away from Leo, but the flank was absolutely on point, buddy. The Zacian comes round, finds the KOs. Los Caracados are shut down.
And mind you, that means No Follow also invested some Unite moves here. We did see the Blade himself here, the Slash coming through, losing that. We also saw Suicune burning on his Unite move, and unfortunately for them, that's 2 moving into the 4-minute mark here. They're going to be a little bit tight when it comes to getting their Unite moves up and ready for the ground on fight. So they got to start farming up right now.
We're not going to have another Regieleki on the field. They managed to get that after the 4-minute mark, so they're just going to leave Los Caracados to defend that while they go get all their experience on their side. Gives you a little bit of time at least. Just leave Marv in the bottom lane just in case they do push that T1 pad. That's what they're going to do. So now we do have a rotation coming in. They do manage to get a couple of points in, but look at this. The combos are on point. Blastoise is sent down. Compute and Crush is on out. Leo has got them stuck in the stadium, but is it going to matter? They don't find a KO just yet. And it is instead going to be them running up the flux zone to see if they can get away from Zante, coming straight back and sent back to Nurse Joy.
2-0 as well, Metagross. Leo running in Magna Rise over the Zen Headbutt, which is it's a pretty flexible pick on one or the other here. I'm kind of liking how they've gone for the Magna Rise for just the general movement speed, right? And moving into that though, we do see a pickup from the Inteleon here from out of nowhere. This Cider just did not see that coming. And the bird as well, Zante finishing it up with a Giga Dream.
Yeah, so now No Follow have managed to capitalize on a couple of moments and give themselves a substantial level lead, buddy. They've got level 14 on that Venusaur, 13 on the Zacian, not too far from it on the side of Cristo Eva. So this is going to be tough for Los Caracados to handle this at the ground on fight, but they've got their own levels to boot. The combo that is Talonflame and Hooper has been working all game long, and Talon has managed to hit 13.
Right, and this is going to be the most fun part of Unite, I would say, which is the waiting game for 10 seconds for Growlithe to spawn here. It's going to be how they position themselves, right? For us casters, we're happy to see how they line themselves up here, but it's going to be a bit of a big problem for them here. Horn Leech coming in early on here to start this entire onslaught as Growlithe is now up.
Groudon is, but right now, No Follow are going to capitalize on shutting Cristo down. They have to wait, do No Follow, because the difficulty is if you don't have Cristo in, they've used the Green Illusion Dive as well, by the way, they don't have the resets. Look at the rotation from Jose here to try and see if they can go score some points into that T2 pad before we see Cristo up. They've not been quick enough with it, though. They will be able to dance onto it, so they're going to wait in the bush until Cristo at least leaves this pad. And they're waiting for it, buddy. Look where Cypher is sat.
Whoop, there it is. That's where Sider is at. Bravebird moving it out here. Jose is actually safe from that, but I don't think he's going to be stopped here. The relentless pursuit is coming through. Although the bot side here is looking a little bit dicey. We're moving to the 1 minute mark here, and there's no hit waste on the side. Bot taking a little bit of damage. Wants to see if he can get a heal here for the Horn Leech. And already a nice Woodhammer started off on the tail here. The Phantom Forest, he might actually get the pickup. There's the first pickup. Hydro Typhoon to commit into Bart as well as they try to take another fight here. Computer Crash flying across the screen, blocking them off for 2! Oh my god, this Suicune is not running away just yet. Without Marv, that would have been a save right there. And again, Lost Catacalos is down for 3.
That they are. No follow. They currently have the advantage, mate. Look at the 50 dunk in the home pad from Potato.
Oh, my lord.
A brilliant move. The rings are let loose by Hooper, but who's here, buddy? They do have Bertolo coming back, but no follow have found a way to sneak enough points in.
Hold on.
25 seconds left. Who's going to get the secure here? And can they get there quick enough? Groudon's going to be taken by Los Catacados, and they do have a T1 up to no follow, but they need 2 Hundo Burgers and more here to win the game.
It's not over till it's over here. We are going to see the Blastoise try to make some headways on the top side here. Bottom side, 2 on the side, as we do see. I think it's going to be a tough one for top. We're going to look at the bottom side to see if you can get any points in just yet here. The first pickup here. Unfortunately, I don't see the bird coming in. Lost Catacados enough when it comes against no follow.
Oh, buddy, that was what an approach by No Follow to make sure that they weren't going to lose that game. Potato going and scoring that Hundo Burger was brilliant in that moment, knowing that realistically they had to go for something there. Los Catacados were losing time. They had to go for a rip. They finally do. There's not enough points that they can score, mate. Those T1s being open at that moment is very risky, but you've got Zante with enough time on the clock just to stall them for like a couple of seconds and you can win.
I think the sad part is that no matter how you count the numbers, Los Catacados was not down 200 points on the dot. Right?
Exactly.
So even if they drop another 100 here, that's 334 to 349. It's a little bit rough. And I have to say, well, that's a GG's. No follow takes a 3-0 here. Los Catacados definitely put up a strong fight here. And you can see the escalation. Like, they were slowly picking the pace up here. And they almost had it in this round, but just falling a little short of that.
If they had 5 more seconds, they'd have been able to win that game, and we'd be going into a game 4 here, bro. Like that was crazy. But the thing is, No Follow have made an absolute statement in their first night here on Unite Fight Club, buddy. They are a dominant team to beat, and I think teams looking at that should be scared for coming up against them because the absolute synergy that we saw from this team was on point, and they were really managing to put the pressure onto Los Catacados through all 3 stages of this game.
Absolutely here. You can see how they kind of just played it out at the start here. They had a very rough start as well when it came to the bot lane and the top lane here. They had Pokemons that were just not suited for lane, I would say. Like, who runs Beldum in top lane, right? It's a bit rough early on, and somehow they were still holding their ground pretty well. Jose even capitalizing on so many of their objectives here, waiting for opportunity and just dishing the damage. Look at that one.
Yeah. it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I feel like, this is the Unite Fight Club. All these teams that we have are so good, and No Follow are just, they're very, very strong. I was expecting this to go all the way to the 5th game. Los Catacados were very close in a couple of moments. I mean, we see them manage to keep it close throughout this, but it was just the fact that at those final few moments, they couldn't find the push that they were looking for, matey. And I think this is the first time on the Unite Fight Club that we've seen 2 games go 3-0 victory. That's the first time we've ever seen it, buddy. And this is season 1. We did preseason as well, where we did quite a few of these Unite Fight Clubs, and we've never seen 2 3-0 victories.
Right. I mean, hey, you know what? There's a reason why, as casters here, we have the opportunity to do this here. But specifically when it's this combo, me and you, that's a reason, right?
That there is, mate. We bring out the unseen here in the Unite Fight Club as we witness the rest of these highlights. No Follow. See, this was it. Los Catacados, they did manage to find some really good moments, but
this
I think
great.
they either stayed too long or No Follow bounced straight back. This moment just before this, where they'd managed to get themselves some great KOs, push onto the pad, they stayed too long, and the response was Zacian came into the flank, and they used Unite moves for it, but they found all the KOs they were looking for, mate.
All right, and then you look at this here. This is 30 seconds of us waiting for something to happen here. They all just pull back, and I mean, this is not the fight that we're looking for. The one I'm looking for is the one where we had a Blastoise run in out of nowhere. Here we had Marv pushing in from the bottom into the Inteleon to pick themselves up for one. That was a great start moving into this. Right?
Here's the beams.
We're not seeing.
They just couldn't connect on the Phantom Force Talonflame combo to begin with. So then Jose goes to try and score. And yeah, Blastoise is just like, I know they're here somewhere. I'm going to go find them. Doesn't yet. This approach from
this
Marv,
one.
Throw everything at the Inteleon. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Look at that.
The amount of connects.
Bro, that was 3 Unite moves that they used on just that one Inteleon to take it down.
And it feels so painful to see because, to be fair here, I wouldn't say Inteleon was the biggest key player. Had a lot of damage to his name, right? If you just use your boosted autos on them. But, like, using the Hydro Typhoon onto Jazante here just didn't feel right. Knocking out a Venusaur who is technically supposed to be in the back line means that there technically should have been Pokemon in the front lines ahead of them. You should have been finding those and getting multiple knockups here with the Hydro Typhoon.
Yeah, no, 100%, buddy. What a game. What a set.
What a game.
What a Unite Fight Club. We have just had 2 3-0 victories. We can finally go to bed at a normal time, chat.
This
I can't
is not
believe
normal.
we're actually getting to see that. It's crazy. But I hope you did very much enjoy the games, because I did, buddy. Nitara, you give me your rundown, buddy. How fun was that?
First rule of Fight Club. We don't talk about
Fight Club.
We don't talk about it. Right. But we hope to see you next week here for even more games here. I do believe that it's going to be next week already for that. Joe, to be fair here, Tano, I will be holding, going out of this one. I'm going to pull Lobo back into the fray here. You're going to get your duo partner back into this again. So we hope to see him back there. But otherwise here, I think today's matches were fantastic here. There were no short of selling an opportunity to the teams. And what else can I say other than that? But maybe if you want to pick yourself up a little bit of a few more extra games here, come back and see us.
100%. We will be here on Monday and Thursday again next week, chat. A huge shout out to Nitara coming in and doing this with me tonight. Very much enjoyed it. Thank you all for being in the chat and participating. We really appreciate it. We love putting on this for the community. We love trying to see how the EU region can develop, and it is a pleasure to have you all seeing it front row and center. That's going to be it from us. Check out our sponsors, Pink Parsnip Computers, grabtap as well. We will be back next week. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, guys. Catch you later. Hello gamers, Spartan Tano here from INGAGE GG, giving you the rundown on our most recent sponsor, grabtap. The incredible team over at grabtap have got me to get on this video and show you how their website works, and it's incredibly easy. To kick things off, we just go straight to this website here. So what is grabtap and how does it work? grabtap is simple. It's a website where you can log in, choose whatever game you want to play or whatever your community would like to play, complete the missions, and then you get gift cards. You can redeem the points for gift cards. It's literally as simple as that, and it is just a brilliant way for creators to not only earn on the games that they could already be playing, but also to earn from your community as they play the games for you or with you. So as you can see, this is as simple as it gets. You'll log in, you'll choose a game, you'll see the missions for that game, and then you will be able to do those and earn the point that you can redeem to gift cards. And of course, if you are a viewer rather than a creator, you can redeem to support a creator following this. So let's get stuck into it. So as you can see, it's literally just grabtap.com, grabtap.com. And you'll click this lovely button here that says Start Now. That will open up multiple different login or sign up options that you want to take. I signed up with Twitch because why wouldn't I? So I'm going to take that one right here. So here we are. This is my screen. I'm currently signed in and it tells me the games that I can pick up and play here. From what you can see, I can also join another community using this button if there's somebody else's community that I want to be a part of. But this is me right now. These are the games that I currently have on offer that I'm able to earn from. Now let's say that we want to play Star Trek Fleet Command. We would click on this and then we would install the game onto either the device that we're currently using or onto our mobile, for example. It says here what the options are. You can play it on PC, you can play it on Apple, you can play it on Android. And these are the total points that you can earn for this game. And that is a massive amount, by the way, guys. As you scroll down, you'll see the missions and what you need to do to be able to get those points. It's incredibly easy. It tells you exactly what you need to do, but also you get bonus points for any kind of money that you spend in the game. So not only are you getting what you need from the game, but you're also getting points. Incredibly good. And it'll also tell you the requirements on this right hand side. Biggest one is usually that you must not have a VPN on, because it needs to be able to track on the devices, and you should not switch devices whilst you are playing. And then once you've played these missions and you have got your points, you can go to the rewards menu and claim your rewards. Now, if we had a look at Star Trek Fleet Command, that was over 200,000 points that you could get from playing that. And look at that, $50 gift card for 50,000 points. You can get plenty of those, and it is pretty amazing. You can see all the different options that you've got, from Twitch, Just Eat, to Amazon, to debit cards and everything like that. A brilliant way for you to earn whilst you game, as well as being able to get yourself some gift cards and your community being able to support you. Now you can head to your dashboard up in this top right hand corner, and this will tell you what you've earned from your community. Of course, I've signed in just now. I haven't used it just yet. Looking forward to doing so. But you can see some of the different games that they've had in the past down this list. It's really, really useful. And as I say, it's not just about a creator like me. You can swap back to player mode, and it's all about what you play and what you earn from the games that you have the options to have a go at. For example, I was already thinking of playing Marvel Strike Force, so I could have a look at that and earn myself 154,000 points. Pretty huge for me to then be able to go and redeem a gift card from. This website is incredibly easy to use. As I've shown you, you literally just sign in from one of the multiple options that you've got, and then you just head to the game screen as normal, pick whatever game you want to play, and once you pick that game up, you can see it in your missions menu for the game that you will be playing. So that's it, guys. It's as quick and as simple of a rundown as I can give you, because it's a very simple website to use and a very simple way for you to earn money, not only for yourself, but for your community as well. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you back on the games.